What's up, everybody? This is Rene Rodriguez with the Long Story Longer podcast, and today's guest is Joe Rodriguez, or Rodriguez, however you go by.
I'd say Rodriguez the Caucasian way, but yeah, either one. Yeah.
I said Rodriguez on myself too, and it's crazy because I say it both ways. It depends on the mood, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
So Joe Rodriguez is a stand-up comic from Las Cruces, New Mexico.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, lived there my whole life. I come here though. I've done all my comedy here in El Paso though, so I don't want to say I'm an El Paso comic, but kind of feels like it by this point. To me.
Right. What are the usual venues you've hit up here in El Paso?
In El Paso, outside of I've done a comic strip. I just did a show for Josh Castro, who's also from here in El Paso.
Mm-hmm.
Engine 3, I believe the name was a brewery. I can't remember. I think it was Engine 3. Wherever I can, man. It's usually brewery shows or bar shows here in town for me, outside of the comic strip. But yeah, I love to perform here in El Paso. I try to come as much as I can. It's close by home.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a good vibe here. I always have a good time out here.
Yeah, so the first time I saw you, I was talking to Adrian and Iggy. I had seen you at one of the shows that Iggy partook in, and that's when I started following you on Facebook or whatever back in the day. And
yeah, man, I've known Iggy for a long time. Iggy, I don't think we started together, but we started maybe close around the same time. I think Iggy might have been doing it a little bit longer than I did. It was back in the day at the Coconuts bar, I think, bar and grill. I don't know if it was a bar and grill. But yeah, we used to have an open mic out there Tuesday nights. Jerry Carnes was running that, and I think that's where a lot of us would meet. I think a lot of us would meet out there. Tough room, absolutely tough room, but we all met out there. We would all do our thing. We'd go up there, perform, and I think we all kind of bonded over that because we'd just go up there sometimes to eat shit, man. Eat complete nothing, no like that. I think they even kept the TV on. The TV's on. I think they kept the TVs on while we were performing, so it'd be like a game, and we'd be competing against the NBA game or something.
Oh, that's got to be the worst, bro.
Yeah, it was so we had to learn to be funny because if not, we weren't gonna get any attention. And I think there's been some fights there. There's been some people throwing things at the comics, so stabbing probably. I'm sure there's overdoses. I don't know. It was one of the best open mics though. I remember we used to have so much fun doing that. And now it's fun still, but it's not like those nights were really fun.
Those were the comedy trenches for sure.
For sure, man. Definitely. I don't think I would have been half as funny if it wasn't for Coconuts. So those Coconuts open mic nights, they were brutal.
So it wasn't Coconuts where I first saw you. I think it was a restaurant. I can't remember the name.
Oh, I wonder which one. I know I've done some restaurants here in town. It probably was when I was really bad. I can't remember.
Nah, bro. I was laughing, bro.
Really? Okay, good. I'm trying to think of where, but yeah, no, it's just El Paso's been always great to me for the shows I've done here. I've done so many things here. So yeah, I'm not like an El Paso comic, but I always kind of consider myself with that group more so than
right
New Mexico, even because Albuquerque is like a whole different scene. So I'm not even with them. Like I wish they're okay.
No,
I mean, they're good guys. They're good guys. They're funny guys. There's some funny people out there. I shouldn't have said that.
I think regardless, you're part of El Paso, bro. As far as Las Cruces goes, because I've got friends from Cruces and we relate on a good level. Whereas I work with a bunch of people from the Albuquerque area, Belen, and they're cool for sure, but they're a different breed, bro.
They're different. That's what I feel like. I mean, obviously I'm closer to El Paso than Albuquerque, but I figured, I've gone to Albuquerque to do shows. I'm like, hey man, we're all New Mexico comics, but they're different. For some reason they feel different to me. They're almost like Austin. If it was compared to Austin and El Paso, they're great comics. So it's not
for sure
so bad, but they're just different. So I go out there and I'll perform, and it's it feels like I'm in a whole different state, even though it's my state. And
right.
I'm from here. I'm from New Mexico, born and bred, and everything, and performing with them kind of feels like I'm an outcast, to be honest with you, just a little bit.
It's because there's a bunch of space in between both Las Cruces and Albuquerque, so you're a lot closer to us. So
yeah, so whenever I feel, I remember, I think there was even a competition they had, El Paso versus Albuquerque, and I was pulling for El Paso comics, so I don't know how that went. I think the El Paso comic did pretty good on that one, I think.
Right.
I didn't get to see the results of that, but I think they did pretty good.
And so before we delve deeper into comedy, bro, I was going to ask you how you got started with your upbringing and everything. But as far as comedy or being funny, were you always a funny kid in class, or is that how that started somewhat?
No, I
Or
was always the dumbest kid in class. No, I was. I think I remember. I think I can't remember what grade it was. Maybe third grade. I feel like this is where it always starts. Right? I made a girl laugh, and I was like, "Man, this is great. I'm gonna do this. So I'm gonna keep doing this." So I made, and then it would make the other kids laugh
right,
at the expense of my grades and paying attention in class. So yeah, I noticed like it was a fun. It was people laughed. You know, they laughed at what I did, so I would do it. But I mean, I wouldn't say I was a class clown. I just was trying to get attention for sure.
hmm
But I wasn't disruptive. So like out in the playground, I would try to make them laugh, do dumb things. And then I found out eventually like there's a difference between people laughing with what you say or laughing at what you're doing. Like if you're making yourself look like an asshole, like I think that's what I was doing. But I mean, it took me a long time to even want to do stand up. I think I might have been like 27, maybe maybe a little bit older. I'm not too sure. I'd always watched stand up. Always loved watching stand up. Freddie Soto from out here in El Paso was one of my favorite guys.
Right.
To watch. I watched a lot of BET Comedy View growing up. Like so, that was like my first taste of like comedy was all the BET comics back in
Right.
the day. And I never thought of it though. I was just like, oh, it's funny. I liked it, and then I never thought of it till I was like at least 27, 28.
And so when you first got into it, who were your favorite comics?
Oh, starting out it's probably like the regulars like Jerry Seinfeld,
hmm
who I think I was more of a fan of Seinfeld itself more than a stand-up. He's still funny, but
Oh yeah.
Not Bill Burr so much. Louis C.K., Bill Burr later on for sure. Patrice O'Neill, definitely one of my favorites. But then like the guys here, like I was talking about with El Paso, Freddie Soto. Some of the BET comics I watched was like Earthquake. I don't know if you know Earthquake,
Yeah.
but
Oh yeah.
man, that was one of my favorite. There's a lot of those guys who were funny. Bruce, just those kind of guys were always funny to me. And of course George Lopez. I grew up
Right.
watching George Lopez. Always thought he was a great comic. Yeah.
So I was talking to a friend earlier on Facebook Messenger talking about Soundgarden being her favorite band, my favorite band too, when I first got into music. And she talked about crying when Chris Cornell, the singer, died. So I brought up the fact that so did I. When Chris Cornell died, he was one of the first celebrity deaths that made me cry.
Yeah.
But before him, I think it was before him, Patrice O'Neill.
Oh man, that was a rough one, man. I remember.
And he wasn't a big celebrity, but it was enough to make me weep.
Yeah, and I'd seen him perform in Phoenix, I think about a year or two before
Wow.
he really got sick. I took my wife. I was like, he's close by.
You have to go see him.
We were married at the time. I think we were still together. I was like, we gotta go see him. We gotta go. We're gonna go see him. So we packed up the car and drove out there to see him, and it was an amazing night where he actually was. He was funny. He was brilliant. A lady walked out because of what he said, and it was like,
I can imagine.
I would have paid $1 million to see this, and I didn't even pay that much.
Right.
It was just so funny, man. I wish I would have taken more pictures. I didn't think I'd take any pictures at all. I didn't even wait for him to after the show to try to get a picture. I was just like, this is my moment to watch him. So that was a really great moment. I got to see him.
Yeah, I bought my very first brand new pickup truck in 2008. And my truck came with XM for however long it came with. And one of my buddies that got me into Opie and Anthony.
Yeah.
So that's where I discovered Patrice O'Neill.
Yeah, he was on there a lot.
A lot, bro. I still find myself watching the episodes on YouTube just to just to get the laughs again.
It was so funny. What was that? I think he had that joke about was it Radiohead? Was that the one Creep? He said it was like a white people's anthem or something.
Right,
I can't remember
right.
the exact joke, but I was like, dude, when he would say things like that, and that was like a comic who I think every comic can agree was like the standard of what a comic should be. Like somebody who's just outwardly funny all the time. Everything they said was funny. And
smart. His was very smart.
Oh,
like
so smart.
everything was very thought out.
It was one of my favorite jokes of his was I think it was even, I don't know if it made it on he had like a little Comedy Central special. I think it was like the 30-minute one. And I think it was on there. We had the joke about where he doesn't litter. because he was the Pepsi Cola rapist or something like that. I know, if you watched him, you know what I'm talking about, but I don't want to ruin the joke. But it was one of my favorite. I was like, that is so funny. He's just like the simplest idea of like, I'm throwing a can out to become
Right.
to become something like that. Like, I just want to be arrested for crimes I didn't commit. It's just one of the funniest things. So I mean, that was that was one of the deaths that really got to me, man. I was like, oh man, I miss, like, imagine, I couldn't imagine him right now, how he would be. Probably would have been canceled, I'm sure, or something like that.
Maybe, but then it's everybody that was real close to him, like Bill Burr, and they all talk about how he could have been so much bigger than he was.
Dude, definitely.
But he kept himself back because he wanted to stay true to himself, or whatever the case was. He had to play the game under his terms.
Yeah, because I mean, he definitely should have been, like, you're talking about like Dave Chappelle level. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he should have been up there. Elephant in the Room is one of my favorite specials. It's still the funniest thing I've seen. And the fact that he didn't have more specials like that is shocking, because there's so many comics who have specials. They're like, all right, that's enough. I'm good. Like, I shouldn't hear this more than a couple times. But that one I rewatch every couple of years, just because it just reminds me of, like, man, this is like brilliant joke writing and just funny, absolutely funny. And yeah, it's definitely one of the comics I've always looked up to.
Yeah, for sure. When I got into comedy, if you remember, I don't know if you ever messed around with it, but Columbia House and BMG, where you'd get 20 CDs for a penny.
Yeah, for like a penny or something like that. Yeah.
So whenever I started ripping them off and never following through with making payments on other CDs or whatever, one of the first albums I got was Chris Rock's Bigger, Blacker, and Uncut.
Oh my God, Chris Rock, yeah, back then, man. I mean, he's still funny, but yeah, that album for sure. I remember doing that too.
Mm-hmm.
I think I put my parents in debt with that. they came with like little stamps. You put them on the picture of the thing of what CDs you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I remember doing that. It was that one. I think I might have had that one too, and then Adam Sandler albums.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that was brilliant to me too at the time. Dane Cook was a big, like, somebody I really looked up to at the time too.
Right.
I think, he's still a very funny guy, but that was like growing up, that was one of the people I really liked a lot too, Dane Cook. I had those albums as well.
I had a buddy growing up, one of my best friends, David Torres. He was probably paying for those CDs the legit way. But whenever he's on that introduced me to Adam Sandler's, they're all going to laugh at you.
Yeah, that's a classic album. It's so good. And that's the weird thing, because it's like a different kind of comedy. It's like skit comedy, which is still... I've yet to be able to do anything like that.
And the whole SNL cast is on there, David Spade and all those dudes.
Yeah, that's right, huh? They're like I haven't listened to that album in a while, so I gotta go back and listen to it. But to me, maybe it doesn't hold up as funny as it was to me at the time, but it's still pretty. I still think it's pretty funny.
It doesn't, bro. But every so often I've gone back and the Talking Goat. I love that skit.
Oh, yes.
Was that?
I remember that one.
Oh, because Jim Brewer was on a bunch of those too.
Oh, really? Jim Brewer.
He wasn't the goat. It was Adam Sandler, but I think he was one of the guys, one of the voices talking on that skit.
Because it was like people that went to go talk to the goat or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Jim Brewer. I haven't. I know Jim Brewer does stand up still, but I haven't checked him out. Yeah, I think he's one of those.
He's gotten real political now.
He was like the anti-vaccine guy for a while there.
And he's opened up for Metallica too.
Oh, so. Really? Oh, pure garbage lineup right there, man. What did I do to get to this level? That sounds like a death sentence, man. That's nuts. Metallica and Jim Brewer? That's fucking terrible. Sorry.
Yeah, for sure. For 1 year, he did it.
I like Metallica. I used to like them. They're pretty good still. Yeah.
No, but he's got some good stories, bro. Jim Brewer too.
Yeah, no, I always I don't know. I always thought of his stand up as like what's that other guy that used to do the movies with Adam Sandler? Rob Schneider. Like, same level. Like, they're funny, but like, who gives a shit, you know? like that level. I'm not gonna go see them, but if they're, it's cool that they do it.
As far as those guys, unless you're Norm Macdonald, bro, because I love him.
Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot to bring up Norm. I'm so sorry. That's another one. That one was another death that hurt me too, man. Norm Macdonald passing away was
suddenly, because he kept it to himself.
That was terrible, man. That one was like, I think I remember seeing it, and I think I wept a little bit, because I was like, I had these ambitions of always going to see him do stand up.
Right.
And my wife told me like a while back after he passed away later, she's like, you could do the cameos, like, and you pay for celebrities to talk to you or whatever. And she's like, I wanted to do it for your last birthday before you passed, and I was like, and she's like, it just was kind of expensive, and I was like, oh, I'll do it next time, she said. and now I've never forgiven her for that because I didn't get the cameo. But yeah, man, that was that's another comic who was like top tier. You can't get over, like, just a whole different breed, man.
I think he was the best at Weekend Update too,
I
bro.
loved his Weekend Update, man. I don't care what anyone says.
And his
It was
Jeopardy turd Ferguson.
Yeah. When he would do his Weekend Update, and he would constantly. There was two bits I always loved when he would bring up O.J. Simpson. He would talk about this O.J. I think that's what got him fired.
Yeah.
And
Michael Jackson.
Do you remember the Frank Stallone? He'd always talk about Frank Stallone. That one made me laugh so hard. He's like, you guessed it, Frank Stallone. And it just started something out of nowhere, and it made me laugh constantly. Even to this day, like, I'll go back and watch the highlights of, like, the greatest clips or whatever Weekend Update.
Oh yeah.
And the Frank Stallone one would always get me, man. He was just up there. One of my favorite Weekend Update hosts, for sure.
He was the best one, I think, bro. He was the best one.
For me, it was one of the best, and it was just like even those times where a joke wouldn't land, he would still be hilarious. Like,
it's his delivery.
The way he delivered was just so dry and so, like, deadpan, but it was just so funny. Like, that's one of them. I can't believe I forgot, but I feel bad about forgetting about him for a second.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely one of my favorites too.
Yeah, so growing up, like I said, Chris Rock was for sure one of the first comedy albums I listened to. And I'm sure, I do remember seeing Raw whenever I did play. We had the bootleg cable box back in the day.
Yeah.
So I know Raw would come out here with Eddie Murphy, would come on here and there. And so I for sure watched those too. But I think Chris Rock was where it started for me as a fan.
Yeah, for sure.
And then for sure Norm Macdonald on SNL. And I think those were my top two when I first got into actually liking comedy.
Yeah, and I think this is like I think, like, when I was younger, starting off with, like, some of the comics I first saw too were also, it was Bill Cosby, which was that was one of the business before he was a monster. Like, when he was just selling pudding pops and stuff, and he was like a wholesome guy at the time, and I would listen to his stand up, and I thought it was just very funny too. I mean, him,
right?
I'm trying to think of some other names right now, but
did you ever get into Carlin?
That's what I was gonna bring up. I was not a George Carlin fan, man. Like, I just never, like, I could see how he was great on the mic. Like, he took over the stage and just killed it, right? But it just wasn't, like, and he would tell a great joke or like a great statement, right? And I just never laughed at it. Like, I just didn't grow up. It wasn't my thing. But you can go back and listen to him and be like, dang, he's a smart guy. He's a smart comic, right? But it just wasn't my thing at the time. So, like, that was not, like, there's people who are like, George Carlin's the greatest of all time, right? I'm sure he is to, like, some people, but
he's got so much material out there, it's hard to catch up even now.
And I mean, it was just a different time. Like, for me, it was a different kind of version. So, I mean, I grew up, the George Carlin I grew up with was Bill and Ted George Carlin.
Yeah, for sure.
He was a stand-up at the time, so to go to that and then listen to him do stand-up, it was kind of, just wasn't, like, my thing at the time. My comedy taste was probably more immature at the time than it should have been, but yeah, that's somebody, like, who I can recognize as a great comic, though, for sure, but it just wasn't my thing.
Yeah, I love his quotes. Every now and then you come across a quote of his, and
yeah, I mean, he's, like, even he had that joke about, like, Republicans, only caring about the baby while it's in the stomach, and see, that was one of the things I'm like, that's a good joke, like, that's a funny joke, and true at the same time. So he was able to be political and funny at the same time. So it's not a lot of people who can do that right now.
No.
So I can respect that for sure.
And then more recent comics, you mentioned Bill Burr earlier. I got into him because of Opie and Anthony, Jim Norton. A bunch of the regulars there.
Yeah, no, I've seen Bill Burr a few times. No, I saw him here in El Paso. It was a while back, though. Louis C.K., who's also a monster, but he was just, like, the guy at the time. When he was at his height, you was like, that was the comic you wanted to, like, kind of emulate yourself after. Like, and you could see it at the open mic scenes where you see comics. And there was, like, comics who come up and you can kind of tell their influence at the open mics.
Right.
Because, like, right now it's Shane Gillis. I feel like it's Shane Gillis.
Shane Gillis is a monster, bro. He's funny, badass.
Right? But the influence is still there because you can kind of tell everyone wants to go for that. And before it was Louis C.K., Uh, Sometimes you see Dave Chappelle, like the influence is there. It's always for the young comics who.
A bunch of Attell.
Yes, Dave Attell, man, very funny guy. It's just the influence is still there, and then you find out, like as a comic, you become your own person, and you kind of drift away from who your heroes were.
What I love about Louis though is after Seinfeld, he's the only one I think, as far as comedians go, that had a great show. Didn't last as long.
Yeah.
But it could be stupid funny and you'd be laughing your ass off, bro.
I did enjoy his show, and that was one of the. I don't think it got to end. I think it just ended like.
Abruptly. No, but there was that other show before, because there was Louis, and then there was what was the other one
that's
called?
right.
Lucky
The one that
Louie.
was like with a live audience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good show too. Actually, I did like.
They were both great.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, so that's true. He did have two good shows. I forgot about that one. That was like an HBO show, I think, or something like that.
There was a one where, real quick clip where he's on a first date or a blind date. I can't remember what it was, and they're at a pier or whatever right by the river in New York, and she wants to bail. A helicopter comes out of nowhere, and she just fucking takes off.
And it was a really great show. It was just a funny show, and it's like, dang, it was. I mean, I understand why it ended. I do, of course, but it was kind of those ones you're like, man, I wish I would have seen like a natural conclusion to it instead of just ending. Because there was some episodes like the one with Joan Rivers, I think, where he talked about like he kind of even doubting himself as a comic. It was like that one spoke to me a lot too. That one was like something I whenever I have a bad show, I'm like remembering that episode because. You know, it was like one of those things that would motivate you when you have a bad show, you know?
Right.
For me, at least it did.
You've had moments where you're like, should I still keep on doing this? Or yeah.
I've had at least, I'd say a couple hundred times of that.
Right.
Like, and it's not so much frequently. I think I remember the first time I felt that way was, and it's always in Las Cruces. It's always in the show in Las Cruces. It was one of my first, like, big shows in Las Cruces, opening for a band. Like, we would perform in between bands. Right?
You pulled the Jim Brewer.
Yeah, it was, so I was like, this is a great idea. I'm going to invite everyone I work with to come see this. It's going to be great. And they came out. That was a great thing. They all came out, and they just saw me bomb, man. Just bomb. Because a band, it's a weird transition to go from comedy to band. Because there's like, with a band, there's no response. You're just listening. And then with comedians, you got to get their attention. And I just was not getting it, man. Everything was not working. I remember they heckled me, and I remember going to the bathroom, and they were in the bathroom at the time, and they're like, hey man, I was just trying to help you out, you know, I was trying to help you out, you look like you were having trouble up there.
Thanks,
like,
asshole.
Yeah. I was like, you didn't help me, actually made things worse. But he really thought he was genuinely helping me. He even tried to help me write a joke, and it was terrible. I was like, I'm not listening to you. But I remember that night, like, I went home to my girlfriend at the time, my wife now, and I was just like, I should not do this anymore. I should give this up. And I think I even got a little sad. I got emotional, and I was like, I don't think I'm ever do this. And then I think like 2 weeks later, I went back to open mics again. But it's the few times that it's happened, it's always a show in Las Cruces for some reason.
So put me in your shoes, bro. Once you bombed and you've got all the people that you invited to that show, how do you face them, or how do you?
That's why.
What was that like?
I've done that since then, man. I really don't invite people anymore. I have coworkers now, and they're like, you gotta tell us when the show. I'm like, yeah, I'll tell you. I'm not gonna tell them because it's just I don't know. Like, you just can't. The going into work the next day and facing all those people is like it's a terrible thing, and everyone was like, "Oh no, you did good." And
you'll get them next time, champ.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, you're so brave." I'm like, "Oh, dude, do you mean I suck?" Because when they say you're so brave for doing that, means that was terrible. They didn't say anything about being funny. So, and it probably wasn't funny at the time either, but it was what I thought was funny, and also at the time it was taking a gig that I definitely was not ready to do, with probably, I don't know, 5 minutes of material. So all the jokes I told, I still have a notebook of all the old jokes I told, and none of them are good. They're all terrible.
Did you start off with the fart jokes and all that stuff too, or the sex jokes, or
the cum jokes, the dick jokes? I still have some of those, but those are funny now.
Yeah.
they don't fit with that category. But yeah, it was definitely like you go back. Let's see, I'm trying to think of a terrible joke. I'm not gonna tell it again, but I was trying to think of the premise. Was black clowns. I had a joke about black clowns. How there's no black clowns. And it wound up being super racist. I mean, I didn't say anything bad, but it's just like when I told it, I was like, it was not that funny.
No, the second you define race, it could turn it into that, even though you're not being racist about it.
I tried not to be like, it was just not a good joke enough for me to tell it anymore. But it was like, these are the terrible jokes you come up with when you're trying to find yourself. Because they're literally the first things I would do is think, what's the most offensive I can be, and then you try to make it funny, and it would just wind up being offensive. Like, it wouldn't even be funny. So then you wind up going, okay, now I got some other things, I gotta work on and filter those terrible jokes out, and then you bring in the new ones, and then you figure out those ones. So like I remember going through that process. I was at Coconuts and other open mics too. Was it just sometimes experimenting with an idea and then riffing on it with the crowd, and then it becomes a bigger joke. And some of the best jokes I've ever come up with were from those open mics, because to get their attention, you really have to struggle. So it's like, this joke worked, that means it's an okay joke, and I can work on that eventually.
So you got your premise, and then you go on stage and you work it out some.
Yeah, and I tried to. I think I've gotten to the point where I feel like I can come up with an idea like on the way to a show, and then put it up on stage. So like bigger shows will help with that. But I did that at the Engine 3 show. I think I tried to tell a joke about my daughter liking the Little Mermaid.
The new one.
I told her, no, that's the thing, is she likes the old one, and it was like a whole idea of like, she wants me to talk like Sebastian but in a Jamaican accent, and I feel a little racist doing it, because it's like it's a black character, I can't do it.
Hey, Tom Hanks' son is doing it.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I felt like Chet Hanks, right? But I can't make that comparison because not everyone knows. I felt like Chet Hanks talking, was it in a Jamaican accent for no reason. But I thought, oh, this is gonna be funny, and then I went up there, I couldn't pull it off because it just. I think I got nervous, and then it bailed out at the I need to tell it with confidence, and I didn't do that at the time. So,
how quick are you to use something or to attempt something like do you have life experiences where something happens to you, let's say the Walmart parking lot,
to come out with a joke of that? Oh, it probably it'll start off as an idea at least, and then like it'll roll into a joke eventually. Like, I think I have a pretty. I think it's just a quick joke about homeless people, and it came from a show I was at, where a homeless person came up to me and asked me for $1, and I was on my way into the show, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have $1," and she was like, "You don't have $1?" like that, and I was like, hey,
"Like you do?"
yeah, you do. What the hell, bitch? Like, I got mad about it. Fucking homeless person, don't judge me. And that came out of a joke, like that became a joke eventually. It just became a ball of another joke I had about homeless people. I'm not constantly joking about the homeless and black clowns, but it's just something that happened. So I got a good 3-minute bit of homeless people jokes that I don't feel the most pride of it, but it's true. Come on, homeless people are something different now.
So in anticipation for today, the reason I brought up Walmart, it wasn't Walmart, but I went to a grocery store that's not too far from here to buy the Coke Zero. And no problem, man. That's what I drink too, so it's all gravy.
Oh, yeah.
But I go to this Sunny Market, is what it is. And my parking spot is right there, bro. I'm about to pull into it. And this chick in a Mustang fucking takes it from me.
Oh.
I was there first.
Yeah.
And of course I get pissed, but she gets off and she's hot. So I just get over it and I park somewhere else,
Yeah.
But I'm thinking to myself, had she gotten off and she was a warlock, how would I react, right? Not to be a dick, but I was thinking to myself, if I was a comedian, that's probably where I'd probably use that at some point.
If she was a disabled veteran, bro, I would have went in on her, bro. Shouldn't have came back from war. No, I'm just kidding. No. Hot people get away with everything, too, because it makes me mad to think about that. And she probably was just like, didn't even think about it.
I get away with a lot.
Yeah, no. And you let her too. You're like, yeah, you sexy bitch. I'm gonna go find another spot. But it is also like, is she gonna move? She's not gonna back out.
She's not gonna move, nah.
No. And there's people like that.
I didn't even honk.
Yeah, no, dude, you can't honk anymore, man. Last time I honked at somebody, they chased me for a while, man. It was, and my wife was with me at the time. My little girl, my daughter was in the back. She was a real baby, like a small baby, and this guy blew past the stop sign and just drove right in front of me. So I honked at him out of habit. I was like, and then he puts the brakes on and like he pulls over to the side and I drive around him and then he just catches up to me. He's pulling up to the side. He's like telling me pull over, this and that. And my wife's like screaming. She's like, "Don't pull over." I was like, I'm not gonna pull over. You're making things worse. You're making me more anxious." Like she's like, you know how women are like in the car whenever you're like too close to another car or whatever, they get all anxious. And yeah, he pulled over and he got out of the car and he's like waving at me, telling me to come. It's a real short dude,
Right?
real short Mexican dude with the Edgar cut, man. And I drove past him. I was like, man, I should have pulled over, man. Ass, man. But I'm like, because my wife wouldn't let me. So no, but it was a good thing I didn't. But that honk turned into a whole altercation. Like literally, it was just like, hey, man, you blew past the stop sign. You almost ran into us. So I don't honk anymore either, just because of that, man.
Because you don't know who's packing heat either, bro. And then you see all this shit like on FitFam on Instagram.
Yeah, honking doesn't like have a tone to it, man. It sounds like fuck you to everybody. Mm-hmm. So whenever you honk at anybody, even if they're like stopped,
it's not a casual.
It's never. They always take it the worst, man. Mm-hmm. It's like when they should be turning on a green arrow and you give them a little honk, they get all mad.
Oh, I don't react to it, bro. But I cringe the second somebody like I know I'm very careful with my honking too.
Yeah.
But the second someone honks at me for something stupid, I fucking cringe. But I just fucking keep it in, bro.
There needs to be like tones of honking, man. There needs to be like semi-horns and then just a little, like a little fart tone, like tone or something like that. It shouldn't be like what it is because it just sounds mean. Like it sounds like you're aggressive, even though you're not trying to be.
Yeah, I was honking at people yesterday because traffic was shit yesterday, bro. And
oh yeah.
We took off first thing in the morning. My son and I to get some stuff, and number one, I don't speed. I'm always going the speed limit. So when somebody's going 41 on a 55,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean, and then they fucking box you, and you get around them, and somebody else gets in front of it. It was just a shitty day for driving yesterday.
Yeah, I've had to learn to like find like not get angry while driving. Like I've had to calm myself down because I was a very angry driver, and I still kind of am, but it's mostly now it's like. Since my daughter's with me, I have to freak this.
Oh yeah.
Like I have to limit my cursing. But now she's repeating everything I say. That was her first bad word was fuck.
Right.
And I was like, what the fuck? Where the fuck she learned that? What the fuck? And I don't know where she got it from. For real, I don't. It probably was me. And it was the cutest little fuck I've ever heard. Right? And I'm just like, I can't laugh at this because then she's gonna say it over and over again. So I'm like, baby, I was like, we don't say that word. That's only for adults to use. But it's like the funniest thing is when your kids curse, but you can't like let them curse. It just has to be natural. Yeah,
with my son, he was probably 3 or 4 years old too, and again, I don't react because again, I'm driving the speed limit. Unless you're driving slower, I lose my shit. But he was probably about 3 or 4, and we were headed up Alameda towards Walmart, also, and traffic was shit. And I'm reacting, but I'm not saying anything. But he sees me getting pissed. And he's like, Daddy, is that guy in that truck a pinche way? Because he heard me say it before, right? I'm like, yes, he is. He's a pinche way. But that's funny. Your daughter said the word fuck. It kind of reminds me, she heard it a lot sooner than I did. Because I remember being in the 2nd grade when I first heard it.
Oh, really?
And one of the guys that I grew up with, Sal Parra, I still remember it was him that said it. He comes over and he starts saying, I'm like, I thought it was a greeting, bro. I don't know what the fuck was, right? But that's the first time I heard it.
That's crazy, that late? I mean, I probably heard it earlier, but I don't remember cursing that. I don't know if I was that early, but... And I'm trying to think of... I'm pretty careful with the words I say around it, but I know every now and then it slips out. And that's what I'm thinking. It's probably when I was driving or something. Because of the just my road rage sometimes. But I've even learned, like, I can't... Like you were saying, I think there was an incident in Albuquerque where some kid got shot or something like that. I don't know if it was... I know it might have been California, I think, when that kid passed away. But it was all from a road rage incident. So now I'm, like, really careful. I'm like, I don't even... But I won't honk. I won't do anything. I'll just, like, wait in my car and get angry.
Yeah.
I can't do it. You can't do anything. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I was coming back from probably watching a football game at the Ale House years back. I want to say about 2 years ago. And the 2 trucks in front of me were arguing with each other too. And you just see the truck on my right. And I'm behind the guy that's fighting with him. You just see the kid fucking flash a gun too. They didn't point at nothing, but he flashed the gun over here. And I'm like, fuck, something's going to happen. But no, fortunately nothing did. But it's...
Yeah, you never know, man.
You don't want to have that regrettable moment where you react for whatever stupid reason and she just kept to herself.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm trying to work on the anger. It's not easy though.
No, it could be crazy, bro.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So humor, do you get any of your humor from your family, or where'd that come from?
I don't
Do you
know. I think a little bit of my dad and my mom too. My mom's pretty funny, but my dad has always been like a real people person, man. He can talk to anybody. I remember growing up, my dad would always like run into somebody he knew wherever we're at, and he would do this thing like at drive-throughs where if like it took a while for our order, he'd be like, "Hey, this is taking a while." He's like, "Can I get something for free? Like, can I get like something for free?" And I would get so embarrassed. I'm like, "Dad, dude, what are you doing?" And every now and then they'd throw him something. They'd give him something like their fries or whatever. They give it to him. And he'd be like, see, that's why you do stuff like that. You just take a chance. I was like, he's like, it doesn't hurt to ask. It doesn't hurt. But I'd be so embarrassed with him. Or he would like, we'd walk into Walmart and he'd just rip a fart, man, just like out of nowhere. And I'm like super embarrassed. And he would be like, who did that? Who stepped on a frog is what he would say. He would always say that. And I'm like, dude, this is so embarrassing. And now I'm like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that to my daughter. It's going to be funny, man. I can't wait to do those kind of dad jokes with her.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But I guess it's a little combination of both. But, no, man, I mean, I don't know if it came from, like, being a jerk. Like, I was a real jerk as a kid, man. Like, a real mean kid. To where I thought it was, like, there was even, like, videos of, like, home, like, videos, right? I would be recording, and I'd, like, be outside with my sister, and she'd be in the pool. She's like, hey, look at, watch me do this. And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it. And then I would just, like, zoom in on some dog poop or something. She's like, are you watching? I'm like, yeah. And then just me focus on dog shit on the floor because I thought it was funny. But it was, like, completely rude. I was like, why would I do that? I was a terrible sibling. But it was kind of funny.
All these years later, they go the memories.
Yeah. So. I'm like, I get it. It's still funny, but very mean. And I'm, like, missing this precious moment. My little sister asking for
sure.
something or whatever, and I'm zooming in on the dog because I thought it was funny.
No, it is, bro.
It was like the white kind, it gets all white for some reason.
And now, do you still riff with your siblings or joke around with them that way? Or?
Yeah, no, we do. We joke around a lot. We have this weird bond of where we're all so different from each other. Like my older brother, he's really like reserved and calm guy. Well, I'm not really like that. And then I have a younger brother who's over the last few years he's gotten into improv. I'd say that was a very surprising thing because I just didn't think he was that kind of guy. But he's really good at it. He lives out in Minnesota. He's really good at improv. He's just a funny guy. And my sister's very funny too. But we always had this bond, like this weird bond of The Simpsons, like seasons 3 through 10 or something. Like those Conan O'Brien produced years too, where we would constantly just recite jokes from there at each other, and we still think it's funny. So every now and then I'll see a clip and I'll send it to him because I think it's funny. But that was our weird like bond. Was that was that sense of humor. It wasn't really anything else because like we find different things funny all the time, but that is for some reason something we've connected over the years. Or did you ever see that movie Kung Pao? I don't know if you ever saw that.
Yes.
That was one of my favorite movies, right? And it was like that and like
It's like a Kung Fu Looney Tunes movie.
Yeah.
Is what it seems like. Yeah.
It was just a weird movie. Mystery Science Theater was something we like certain things about our humor we would bond over, we'd connect, and then like other things were just completely different people. So like those kind of things we would laugh and joke about. We bring it up all the time, like certain episodes or certain jokes from the shows that we would watch. But yeah, no, I think my sense of humor with them was really mean growing up. Like really, I was really rude to them. And I'm trying to make up for it now, but it takes a while.
So one of my favorite jokes of yours is the wallet joke.
Yeah, and you know what? I haven't really done that one in a while. Because I think I would do it a lot, and then it would just kind of over the years it's kind of fallen flat. Like it just hasn't worked as well. But also, sorry, I gotta clear my throat. I don't think I tell it with as much confidence because it's kind of it's kind of took into the back of my material. I still tell it every now and then. Like whenever I got to do a clean show, I'll pull it out because it's a clean joke. And
it's a great joke, bro.
Yeah, and it works. I think the last time I told it was at the golf course in Las Cruces. That was actually a good show. That wasn't a bad one. I brought up Las Cruces shows being bad, but that was a good one. Doing a golf course, like a golf club thing. It was Jerry's show, and he's like, "Hey man, you gotta be You gotta be clean. You gotta be real clean. I was like, all right. And then we get there, and Jerry's like, and then the person who's running the show is like, oh no, you can drop a couple bad words in there. I was like, all right, 2. So I used my limit. You think I even used 3 F words or something like that. And they were real cool older people. So I was like, I was worried about it because whenever they tell you to do, you're doing clean. For me, it freaks me out because I'm like, holy crap, man, now I gotta be.
You're walking on eggshells.
Yeah,
doing your
it
set.
feels like that because I mean, I could do a good clean 15 minutes, right? But it just feels not natural because then you're really watching what you're saying. Like, I can't say this, I can't say that. So then, if I just went up there naturally and thought I should keep it clean, I'm not gonna do any dirty jokes. Then that's different than them telling me, you gotta be clean because it feels like I'm gonna just say a bad word out of nowhere for no reason. So, I mean, that was the last time I told that wallet joke there. But, I want to bring it back. It's just, I don't know. I think I haven't moved on from it, but, like, it's still, like, it's just a little bit in the back of the notebook kind of joke. Like, it's not there yet. I just, the few times I've told it, I don't think it's gotten the response it used to. Maybe
Right.
I don't tell it like I used to, but, yeah, I got to figure that one out. Because it works.
Yeah, that one recording you'd sent me that one time for the drawing, your delivery there was real good, and
Yeah.
it's a simple premise, but it's hilarious as fuck, bro.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I know, like, my delivery is kind of, like, dry, I guess. I don't know how to say it. People tell me, like, it's kind of
It's
like...
natural, though, bro. It's natural delivery. Like,
Yeah.
you don't sound, sorry to interrupt, but you don't sound rehearsed at all.
Oh, no, that's cool.
So-
No, that's perfect. That's a good way to tell it. Like, I did a show in Arizona. It was like an open mic at a comedy club. And, it was a really great open mic. It was like a sold out open mic. People, they would sell tickets to it. I've never heard of that before. And I went up there, and they give you like 3 minutes or something like that. And I was like, fuck it, I'm in town, let me do it. And I went up there and I did my stuff, and everyone was like, I did not expect that from you. I don't know why, because I give off a weird persona, like a weird vibe. Maybe they thought I was more quiet or something. And I am. I'm very quiet. But I went up there, and like they're like, I was not expecting that, like, at all. That was a surprise for me, and I took it as a compliment, of course, because I don't know the Arizona comics like that well. But they just were like, yeah, the way you deliver, like, it's kind of monotone, like, calm thing. And then there's other comics who are like all over the place, which is that fits them, But my thing is like, I'm just kind of a calm guy.
Yeah, I mean, if that's your delivery, you don't have to be bouncing off of walls like Dane Cook or whatever. I mean, if you've got your delivery and it works, it fucking works, man.
Yeah.
As long as you get the laughs, it's.
And I want to be like I try to add some movement to my set, but I'm kind of a guy who just sits there or just stands still and doesn't really, do too much like that. I'm trying to add a little bit more of it in there, and I'm noticing it works more. It's just about getting the confidence to do it, because now I've just always been a guy who's just kind of like this, like on the mic and on the stage, and to add movement to it is it's a new thing to me, like adding some more energy to it without sounding like I'm not being authentic to who I am.
But on that note, like, I just seen the Brian Simpson special on Netflix, and he's very monotone, and he kills, bro.
Yeah, and certain guys do. There's a comic.
It seems effortless, but he's killing, bro.
Yeah, and there's some comics who they can go that way their whole career, and I want to stick to that because that's genuinely who I am. Like, this is how I have a conversation, and kind of like quiet. I don't talk too much with emotion, really. So I mean, there's certain comics. I'm trying to think of one. There was a comic who I can't remember his name right now. But he had a whole special about doing crowd work.
Was it Andrew Schultz or?
No, it's more of it's an older guy. He's a white guy, bald. I just can't remember his name right now. He's a very funny guy. I'd have to look it up. I think he even has a book about comedy that I've read. It's really great. But his tone is very like that, very monotone. When I figure it out, I'll tell you, and you'll be like, all right, I know what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, Todd Barry.
Yeah.
Todd Barry. That's who it is. One of my favorite comedians too, just a monotone guy. But everything he says, the way he says it, is just so funny. And he had this special where he did crowd work. Like, the whole special was just crowd work. It's a compilation of all his shows he did with nothing but crowd work. So like 45 minutes of crowd work. And I thought it was brilliant. It's like I couldn't imagine like someone that monotone and low key could be so funny, but he really is. So. And I just feel like it's who he is authentically, like as a person.
I think with Todd Berry though, it's his eyes too, the way he looks whenever he's delivering a joke.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of things. I think it's not just the way you your face is. Like that's what I think. I'm trying to incorporate more things into my stand up. I've been doing it for like 12 years now, and I'm still learning like so much. Like, that there's different ways. I'm always learning something from a new show or even a comic I meet or something. They'll tell me something. So I'm always open to learning new things or even trying different things. One of the things I'm always afraid though, like I'm never gonna do improv. I cannot do improv, man. Something about
being on the spot.
It freaks me out, man. I just I couldn't imagine going up there with nothing and coming and then they come to you with a premise and you make it funny. Like it would just be me making dick jokes or something like that for 10 minutes. Where like I said, my younger brother does improv and I've seen him like performance wise. He'll stream his stuff. And he's just so funny. I'm like, damn, like he's always been funny, but I didn't see him as this kind of funny until recently, until the last couple of years. And I'm like, man, and he's kind of says the same thing about stand up. He's like, I could never do stand up.
Do you guys ever bounce ideas off of each other though, or
no, not really? Because
it's two different ball games.
I think it's kind of like that. I think it's like two different games. Like, and then our sense of humor is different. I think he's just is able to make things funnier, like quicker, like with a snap of a finger, he can do it. Where I can think of something, I could hear it, and then maybe I need more time to work it into a joke, and so it's like two different speeds, you know. Like I could not do improv, and I don't think he's even interested in doing stand up. But it's, I don't know, something about this weird beef with people who do improv. I have that too. Like I think it's so lame, but also I can see like how, like. It's a great thing to have, like the improv sense of it. I think like you can
a good skill set.
Yes, definitely like a great skill set. Like you could use improv in stand up as, you know, like crowd work. Like something is said and you boom, you're like crowd work is a thing where I'm not very good at it. I feel like I used to be a lot better, and now I've kind of gotten the material because I didn't have the material before. So now I had to rely on something else to make people laugh. And now that I have the material, it's hard to go back to doing crowd work. That's something I would love to work on. I kind of have it a little bit, but I feel like it could be stronger.
With some practice.
Yeah, I definitely would love to work on it because it's just so fun. I think it's fun for everyone.
And fatherhood and marriage, did you ever incorporate that into your jokes once they both happened? Or?
Yeah, marriage for sure was something I incorporated pretty quickly when I got married. It's been about 10 years now. Almost 10 years we've been married, me and my wife. And she would always, before we got married, even before this, like she would always go to the shows with me. She would go to open mics with me all the time. She would go to the shows, and she hasn't been in a while, but because she kind of knows my set back and forth. And then we have a little girl now, so it's hard to get out there. But the fatherhood one is a new one. I'm trying to make that into that leap into it, because fatherhood comedy is like a whole different thing. Because I'm finding that the things I think are funny, they're not always funny because it's like not everyone can relate to it. So trying to find relatable, funny moments in your fatherhood is like a whole different thing. Relatable
and also different from everybody else's fatherhood jokes.
Because everyone has jokes about, you know, their kids yelling and being annoying and you know all this stuff. And so I'm trying not to keep it the same. Because even like, you know, we talked about Louis C.K. and all his jokes about his kids were always so funny. Like,
and he's got two daughters.
Yeah, and it was just funny because, you know, at the time I didn't have kids. I would listen to the jokes and I was able to, even not having kids, I was like, this is funny to me. So, you know, I haven't got there yet with it. Every now and then I have a couple of jokes about my daughter or being a dad. Like, but I know when she gets older, I feel like it'll definitely be more involved. Once she starts developing, like, her personality's coming out for sure. But I will definitely be able to come up with more when she's being mean to me or something like that. Right now she's a sweet little girl. But you know, she every now and then she'll get upset, but yeah, I think definitely when she gets older it'll be funnier for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it gets once they come into their own character, their little being. Yeah. It gets fun, bro. It gets a lot more fun.
Yeah, no, I'm noticing that now too. Like my daughter has this weird fear right now of getting older. She's like has this weird irrational fear, right? And that comes from, I think it comes from my wife a little bit, because there's times where she has these weird fears. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she used to tell me when she would fall asleep, she's like, can you check on me when I'm asleep, make sure I'm okay? I'm like, I'm sleeping too. Like, in my mind, I was like, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm
Right.
like, yeah, I'll check on you, babe. Fast asleep. I never checked on her. But she had this, my daughter has this fear of, she's like, I don't want to grow up. She tells me, I'm like, I don't want to grow up. I'm like, what? And she goes, I want to stay medium. Right? Because she doesn't want to go back to being a baby, but she's come up with the idea that she just wants to stay where she's at, which is medium. And so she gets freaked out where we're like, I think we'll talk about, oh, you're growing up so fast. And when she hears that, oh, I don't want to grow up. I'm like, oh, babe, that's great. You don't want to grow up. But I don't want to tell her, like, hey, you're going to grow up eventually. But she has that, like, fear that for some reason, to me, that a 3-year-old wouldn't normally have. Like, but I don't know where it came from. So she has, like...
That's crazy for her to be thinking about age already.
I'm like, you're already thinking about your mortality, baby? I don't want to get older either, too, you know? But she's so aware of things. She's reading now. She's doing some, like, big things. She's able to count to, like, 100. Way smarter than I ever was at that age. I don't know where it came from, man. But she's very, very smart. And I think with that comes these realizations. Like you said, like a 3-year-old shouldn't be thinking about growing up already. But she thinks about it, and then it's the worst thought to her. She freaks out so bad. And I'm like, yeah, you should be afraid, because this is terrible. Growing up is not fun, man.
My son's afraid of pigeons, bro, and that's my fault.
Really?
Yeah, bro, because from the second he was born, and I've videotaped everything he does. I've taken pictures of everything he does, and always wanted to take cool pictures, right? So we go to the movies a lot, and there's always pigeons out there. You know, we've got leftover popcorn, and I'm trying to take a picture of them at one point, like a John Woo style picture. All these pigeons around.
Yeah. Where the birds are flying. Yeah.
So I threw popcorn and it scared the shit out of him, bro. And to the day, bro, I'm like, dude, those pigeons are gonna hurt you. You're bigger than them.
Yeah.
But he panics whenever he sees pigeons or crows, bro.
I don't like pigeons either, man.
So
I see pigeons. I try, like, in the road. I try to run after them. I try to run over them.
Sky rats.
Yeah, they're dirty, bro. I think I have a weird fear of frogs. I have a fear of frogs where I just don't like them at all. Like, they're disgusting me. Like, I get sick even. I'm getting grossed out right now even talking about it. So it's gonna grow up with him. He's gonna be freaked out. He's gonna be the kid who's the adult who's afraid of pigeons. That's your fault.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, I was at a long time ago at a 7-Eleven, and they had just cleaned the windows, bro. It was close to my old job. I was gonna go use the ATM, and the ATM's right by the window, and I just hear a loud bang, and it scared the shit out of me, bro. It was a fucking pigeon that flew into the fucking window right there, right where I was at. Loudest bang ever, bro.
Damn, dumb ass bird. I wouldn't even shed a tear for that, buddy. I remember once I ran into a bird. It could hit your windshield, right? It just was, I think it was trying to get out of the way and it hit it. It's like, oh no. And I went back around, I looked, it was a pigeon. So I was like, let me run him over again real quick. I didn't feel bad after that. I just left him, but I was like, oh, he's just a pigeon. Never mind. If it was like any other bird, I would have felt terrible about myself.
No, I'm afraid of snakes, bro. And I've been in my work truck. I work for the railroad, right? And I'll be driving alongside the rails, making sure everything's good on the railroad tracks, whatever. And a snake will cross my path. And for a split second, I forget I'm in the truck, bro, and I'll stop, and I panic, and then I'm like, I'm okay.
I'm good.
Yeah, dude.
Snakes are scary too, man. You never know.
Hell no, bro. I've been bit by spiders so many times. It's crazy, bro. So spiders, it is what it is. It hurts like fuck, but I can deal with spiders now. But snakes, fuck no.
No way, dude. Because I don't know what it is about snakes too. Spiders freak me out a lot too. But I'm trying to like usually it was like the thing we're on site, man. Like if there's a spider, I'm gonna smush it, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Just for no reason. But now, like, I got my daughter with me. She saw a spider, and I was just like, oh, look. I'm freaking out inside, but I'm like, look, it's a spider. And she's like, oh, hi, Mr. Spider. Like, really, like, it wasn't a deadly spider or anything, but it was just like me. I'm like, I wanted to smush it. I wanted to get rid of it. And she's like, oh. And so I'm trying to be gentle and like, okay, let's say bye, Mr. Spider. And we'll walk out. And then I tried to catch it, I tried to kill it, and it was gone. I was like, no, so the whole night I'm freaking out. I'm like, what kind of spider is this? I'm looking it up on my phone. Is this a bad spider? It's just a regular house spider. But my mind is like worried about this spider now. And I didn't want her to see me freaking out because I don't want to be afraid of things like that. Yeah, so irrational fears, they come up with you all the time. So.
Yeah, just yesterday when we were leaving the house, going to a friend's house for a cookout, there was a scorpion at my doorway.
Ooh, yeah.
So we stepped on it real quick. But in this very room, when we first moved in, so this was a new development area, right, at the time. So they talk about how you displace all the bugs and they all end up going into your house
Oh yeah.
at the beginning. So whenever we first got Micho's drum set that's over here, he was playing drums and I was in my room or in the living room watching TV or playing video games, whatever. And I just hear my boy go, "Daddy, come here." I'm like, "I'm on my way, hold on." "Daddy, come here now," whatever. So he probably shouted for me at least 3 or 4 times before I made my way over here.
Yeah.
And he's holding his hand. He's like, "Daddy, a scorpion bit me on the finger.
Oh.
It hurts." But he's not crying. He's like,
Yeah.
"This is the worst pain ever." Like it kind of seemed acted out, but his finger was swollen and everything for sure.
No.
And sure enough, we found the scorpion by his drum set and we killed it, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So at least I know he's tough about it, you know.
Yeah, dude, I would have been weeping, man.
But I would have been crying. I was thinking too, bro. I'm
like, it's over. I'm done. I don't know if they're all poisonous. I have no idea, but I would feel like I had treated it like they were or something.
So we looked up the on Google too, and I think if they were, I might be mistaken now, but I think if their skin is translucent, they're not that bad.
Oh, okay.
If I remember correctly, but yeah, he toughed it out. I would have been a big pussy about it, bro.
Yeah, me too, man. I would have been. I gotta do write my will or something. I don't know. For sure. I gotta leave shit to people, man. That's
For
that's
sure.
what I would have thought too.
So whenever you did a 1 year stint in Vegas,
Yeah.
did you do comedy out there?
I
Or?
did. I moved. I was there for about 2 years, close to 2 years, right? Me and my wife were from Las Cruces, so we were like, you know, hey man, you know where you get that like rut, and you're like, oh man, I need to do something different. So we had been talking about it for a while. I was like, we need to go somewhere. We need to do something. We're young. We don't got any kids. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of Las Cruces, man. This place sucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we're like, let's move to Vegas, right? And we talked about it, and we looked at jobs and everything. We looked at apartments, and we went over there, and we were just talking about it. And then we get over there, and she's like, kind of freaking out because she's like, this is really happening. She's lived in Las Cruces her whole life. So we went, and we moved out there like on July of like 2022 maybe.
Mhm.
I think it was 22. I could be wrong, but yeah, we moved out there. Summer, man, the heat was nuts. It was like 109. We're moving in and everything, and she starts freaking out because she's like, you know, when you go to get an apartment, they show you the model apartment, right? So she's like, we see this beautiful model apartment, and we get into our place, and it doesn't look like that.
Right.
It's a little different. There's cabinets are kind of messed up, and she's kind of having a little freak out. She's like, did we make the right decision? I was like, well, it's okay. Let's relax. So we moved out to Vegas, and my whole thing was like, I'm gonna do stand-up comedy. Adam Dominguez from El Paso,
Mm-hmm.
he was out in Vegas. He's still out in Vegas. Great comic. You probably all know him, but if not, you should check him out. George White, another comic from El Paso, who is, I don't think he does stand-up that much anymore because he's a full-time dad now. He's got like...
Yeah, him I've never heard of.
No, he had moved out there, and Adam had moved out there, and I was like, hey guys, what do you think of me moving out there? What would you recommend? It? Like, yeah, you would love it. So then I talked to my wife, and we moved out there, and I'm doing stand-up. I'm getting in. Adam's helping me do spots. I did some casino spots. There was a show they used to have at the Oyo Casino, which was the Hooters Casino at the time before that, which I would get on, and I did some spots at the LA Comedy Club in the Stratosphere. So I was like, oh man, everything's going great, man. I'm gonna get my name in here. I'm gonna slide into the Las Vegas comedy scene. And then, like I said, we moved out there because me and my wife like, we don't have any kids. Let's go. And then 6 months in, boom, my wife's pregnant. She's pregnant in Vegas, and we've been trying for years.
Right.
And we had kind of given up on the idea because we're just like, that's why we moved too. We're like, it's not gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just get out of here. And then 6 months in, boom, she's pregnant. And I don't know if it was because of the stress or something, but we were like really genuinely happy in Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe that helped. I have no idea. But so then my daughter's pregnant. My wife is pregnant with my daughter, and then a little bit longer, we're doing our pregnancy announcement. We're telling everyone we went to go to Disneyland to go do it. Like there was a sweetheart night. I think it was like in February. And then not too long after that is when the shutdown started happening. The pandemic started happening.
Right.
And that's when everything shut down. I wasn't able to do anything at all, any shows anymore, because the strip was just shut down. It was dead. Like we would go for drives at night, down the strip, it's just blackness. The craziest thing ever. It's like the world had ended or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. It was crazy. So I didn't get to experience it as much as I would have wanted to, because as soon as the pandemic, the restrictions started getting lifted, we had my daughter by that time. So I was kind of, the stay-at-home dad. I was working. My wife had to go back to work. She works in education. She's a teacher. And then I was just staying at home, working, staying with my daughter. So I became like just the stay-at-home dad pretty much during that time, and it was a great time. That was one of the pandemic. Saying this is awful, I know. The pandemic was one of my favorite times, man, because I got to stay home with my little girl. I loved it. I loved every second of it. I know people were dying, but I loved it. I loved being at home with my girl. There's so many things I got to experience. Like breathing. No,
I almost spit my coffee out, bro.
sorry. There's so many things I got to, normally, like a dad, I wouldn't have gotten to experience because I would have had to work. I would have been doing that. Because of the pandemic. Like, it was a great thing, man. I feel terrible saying it. And I don't bring it up very often because people had a bad pandemic experience. But
yeah, for sure.
A wonderful one. I got to stay home and, I got to see my daughter crawl for the first time. I got to see her. We would take naps together, and I'd be, the skin to skin. I did all that fun stuff, man. So that was Vegas was still, even in my mind, I loved living there. It was a great city. The people were nice. The heat wasn't even that bad, to be honest with you. You're indoors all the time. It didn't really matter. So it would be 110 during the summer. I'd be yeah, I'm inside the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But I loved it. The Vegas comedy scene is something else too, man. Comedy was pretty much almost every night. There was somewhere to go, something to do. There was great shows, great comics, and it was just something I really miss it right now. But once we had my daughter, we decided it's best we come back because I want my daughter to be around family.
For sure, bro. Family's everything, man.
Yeah, and it was so both our families are in Las Cruces, from Las Cruces. So we're well, let's go back. We wanted to stay, but we just thought it's not very practical because then we're gonna have to leave her in daycare. And I freaked out about that. I didn't want to leave her in daycare. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it's just you have to do it if you have to. But I was I don't want to do it. So we moved back to Cruces. But it was a great experience in Vegas. I loved it. I recommend it to everybody, man. They're you loved it out there? I was yeah, it's a great place, man. It's awesome. There's so many things to do.
Well, were you guys living outside of Vegas, the little suburb area? Yeah.
Sorry, I gotta make that clear.
Yeah, bro.
If you live in Vegas, there's something wrong. You don't want to live in Vegas, man. It's dirty. We live in Henderson, which is a good 15 minutes away.
Right.
Something like that. Beautiful, beautiful city. Yeah, if you live on the strip or near the strip, yeah, that's disgusting, man. I used to work at a school too before the pandemic happened, where I was a tutor, and it was a school close by the Stratosphere. And I remember for my lunch, this is how Vegas is. I was for my lunch break, sometimes I just go over and gamble. Sometimes, yeah, because it's this is what you do, right? You just go play some slots. You're maybe I don't have to go back to work if I'm really lucky. I don't have to go back to work if I win it big. But yeah, if you live outside of Vegas, it's great. If you live in Vegas.
Yeah, the last two times we went for the Chili Peppers 6 months apart. And the first time around, I went cheap, and I regret it because we stayed at the Circus.
Ooh,
and that's fucking gangster there, bro. It's
gross.
Ghetto. It's gross.
Yeah.
The casino resort itself, well, it's not a resort, the hotel. It was gross, bro. Smelled like cigarette everywhere. It was shit.
Yeah.
The last time that we went, we stayed at the Orleans, which was a lot nicer, but it was still in a gangster area.
Yeah, I think once you go to that side of the strip, it's kind of gross.
Very, bro.
You gotta be careful, cause what is it? Fremont, that Fremont area. You ever gone to Fremont? You I hate that place, man. It's gross. It's like a third world country in there, man. It's disgusting. Why do people have their nipples out? I don't know, man. They just do. There's just gross people everywhere. I think I went there with my wife. I think it was around Halloween time. And I was most of these people, this isn't their costume. This is who they are. They're generally dressed as Dracula. They just happen to be blending in with people on Fremont. And I hated it. I was we're never coming back here. We're never going to this side of the strip. This over the other side is perfect. It's nothing wrong with it. It's nice. When you get to Caesar's Palace and stuff, those are beautiful places. Those are nice places. And then once you start getting to the Strat, into the Circus, it's it becomes darker. Even the lights dim a little bit because it's just not a good place to be. And yeah, no, I loved going to Vegas. I really even being in Vegas. We would do the shows, and I would go do the shows, and I'd leave, and just like something about living in a big city was like, it was everything to me. It was like saying like I lived in New York or something like that.
Right.
Like, yeah, it was like one of those things for me.
So, and I've been several times before, and I haven't been there for this yet. But I mean, we did see the concert both times at the new Raider Stadium.
Oh yeah.
But I think anytime you're in a city with a football team, it makes it all the better too.
Yeah, and then that's what I was really excited about. Like I didn't want to go see the Raiders, but I was like, man, we live in a city with a football team, a professional football team. They have a professional WNBA team. They're getting the A's. I think they're getting Oakland. They got Vegas Knights. It was like a sports town. So I was so excited. I'm like, I get to see sports. I gotta go see hockey. And then the pandemic ruined everything. Even in Henderson, they had like a local hockey team. Like I was so excited. I'm like, yes, because Cruces doesn't really have anything. He had meth. I think that's the funniest thing you can do. There's no. There's no, unless you want to be an addict or something. There's nothing fun to do. Like we don't even have a bowling alley. Like to say that, we used to have one. We don't even have anything. So it was nice to live in a place where you can drive 10 minutes away and there was something to do. Like I just loved going to the casinos. Even I wasn't even a gambler. I just like to go. It was a very fun time in my life.
I'll lose $20 like in less than a minute, bro. And I'm like, I'm not a good gambler, bro.
Yeah, I'm one of those gamblers too, where I'm like, I could lose $20. I'm like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go do something else, man. Because I don't need to be. Oh my, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna win the big. Nah, I'm done, man.
Yeah.
After $20, I'm done.
And so going back real quick to you and your wife becoming parents, bro. From what little I know you just from social media for all these years on Facebook. For what it's worth, I was happy for you, bro.
Oh, thank you.
Like Iggy had told me on his episode that whenever he'd given you advice, he told me that you guys were struggling for a while, whatever.
Yeah, man. Because I mean, I went through so many emotions having when I like I said, one of the best things about it was I got to stay home with my daughter.
Right.
But going through that, you realize like there's so many things you don't know about being a dad, or just a parent in general.
That you got to figure out on the fly too.
You do, and so like there were times where like when I was by myself and my wife had to go to work, of course she had to go back to in-person teaching, and so whenever that happened, I was at home and like when my daughter would cry, when she wouldn't want to eat, when she wouldn't want to sleep, some of those things would get to me, man. Like those little things of like, no, I wouldn't say like postpartum, but it was like close to that where I'm like, I can't get her to do anything. There's something wrong with me. Like why can't I get her to sleep? And then not only that, but then coming up with the idea of like now I got a little daughter, and I got to worry about so much. Like I mean, you worry about things with your kids in general, but I'm like as a daughter, I feel like if you have a daughter, you feel like you worry a little bit more. So like I wound up I talked to Iggy, asked him his advice about raising daughters. Talked to Sam Butler because he has daughters too. I'm like, give me any advice because I need to know as much as I can. It's a different world, but I love it, and there's nothing. Like when me and my wife when I found out that she was pregnant, we went to the doctor, and you go check and everything's okay, and we didn't want to know until we did the gender reveal what we were having. But I just had this feeling. I was like, man, I'm having a little girl. I just had this feeling. Everything in the world felt like it telling me I was having a little girl. We went to our first appointment. Nothing but little girls in the waiting room. I didn't see one little boy, and so I was like, everything's telling me little girl. And it was weird because I was like, I think I would have, this sounds kind of bad, but I was like, I would have been a little disappointed if it was a boy, because I just felt like it was going to be a girl. Not that I was preferring one over the other, I just genuinely felt like this is going to be a girl. So I was so excited, and then we did the gender reveal. I was like, it's a girl. I knew it, and I was so happy, but then I thought of all the scary things in the world. Like, that's when you start thinking about, oh man, everything's getting to you. So, I mean, being a man, I don't know anything about being a girl, so I'm like trying to figure it out. So I mean, I did struggle a little bit at the beginning, just because like having a kid from having no kids to having a kid was a rough, like, and then doing it by yourself. Like my wife was coming home eventually, of course, and help out, but it was just like those hours of like when she wouldn't go to sleep at night was like, I would dread the nighttime because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to get up at 2 or 3 in the morning and feed her, and she's not gonna go to bed. And then I'm gonna have to stay up all night. Like I remember those rough nights where she wouldn't go to bed. So those were times like I I miss them and I don't because it was like kind of a rough part of being a dad.
You can't wait till they start talking to let you know what's wrong with them.
Yeah, because I would freak out, man. I was like even googling like, what is it poop supposed to look like this? Like I'm like freaking out because one time her poop came out a little different color and I was like, I think she's got internal bleeding. I think we need to go to the doctor right now. I think we need to take her to the hospital. Like I freaked out over everything, and then like putting her. Like even the weird stages of like you put her in her crib with nothing in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when she got a little bit older, we started putting dolls and blankets, like it's little by little. And I would stay up watching her on the camera, like, okay, she's not gonna. Like they would tell her this is appropriate age, she's okay to have this in there, but I'm still freaking out. Like there's a blanket in her crib. What if something happens?
Everything is circumstantial, and you're like,
what if something happens? And I'm not there to watch it. So those, I think the first 2 nights of when my daughter was born, I couldn't sleep. Like when we took her home, I couldn't sleep, man. I was like, I gotta watch her the whole time. So I'm over there watching her little chest go up and down, like you're making sure everything's fine. I just couldn't sleep though because I'm like, I gotta make sure she's okay. Like, and everything I looked up was like, you gotta have, Then you start seeing those stories like SIDS, like stuff like that, and you're like, oh my god, like what do I need? And it's like, oh, you gotta have a fan in your room, and so it was like a real whirlwind of emotions and worries and like evaluating yourself as a dad, thinking like I'm not gonna be a good dad because like everything I'm getting upset at her like for crying. I'm a terrible father, but yeah, like that's normal. Like those things they happen to everybody. So yeah, I remember asking advice from. I would ask Iggy because Iggy has kids, and I'm like, okay, he's a good person. Let me ask him about it. And everyone always gave me just the best advice, but it's like, now I look back and I'm like, that advice is relevant mostly to them. Because their kids are different than
you got to figure out your own shit for sure.
Yeah, and I'm going to eventually figure that out too. I'm like, if I try to give advice right now to anybody else, my advice is going to be different than what they probably need. But everyone always was so helpful with it. And, it's almost like a community, man. Once the parents come together and start helping you out, it's great. But then one time, sometimes they help out too much. Like my mom is she was very helpful, but she would be like, and I think I would ask her for advice and stuff, but her way of doing things was way different than what I do. Like, I'm trying the gentle parenting, which, I wasn't like beat or anything as a kid, but my parents didn't really do that. Like we get spankings every now and then, so I'm like trying not to even do that. So like their advice about like handling tantrums and behaviors is different than, I'll ask my mom, but it's like, she's like, oh, just ignore it. It's like stuff like that.
She'll get over it.
That's why I'm a comedian now, because that's why I need attention all the time. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
So it's different, but I'm learning a lot along the way.
Yeah. So for what it's worth, though, like I was saying earlier, from just social media, bro. Like whenever you guys announced it on there, I was happy for you, genuinely, bro. Because I think I'm always happy whenever somebody has a kid, bro.
Yeah.
Because I know how impactful it was for me and how much I enjoy it, and especially when it's new parents, it's like, man, they're in for a ride.
It's such a fun, like it's one of those things where you look back at your experience, you're like, man, I wish I could do that again. Like I miss those bottle feeding nights with those little things, like the noises that she would make when she was drinking her bottle, and then you're also like, damn, those are tough times, but you kind of wish you could go back because now there's even times now where my daughter's like, I don't want you to hold me. Or whatever. I'm like, hey, you don't get to say that, but she has a right.
She wants her space, or
yeah, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could just hold you, So when a parent becomes a new parent, that's where you start reliving, like, oh, this is fun. But be careful. Watch this. Watch that. That's gonna happen. And you don't want to give them those, like, it's not a warning, but it's like a heads up.
I'm already dreading with my boy getting older. He's gonna be 10 later this month.
Oh man, really?
That quick, bro, and he's already had his moments where he's too cool for me, bro. And that fucking sucks. But then right before bed, he's all lovey-dovey on me, but every now and then, especially when he's on the phone with his buddies or on my phone. He doesn't have his own phone yet, but whenever his buddies come to visit, he's too cool for me, bro.
That's going to break my heart, man. I know that's going to happen because I feel like there's times where my daughter... And I mean, that was natural because I spent so much time with her. She kind of preferred me to do things certain ways as opposed to my wife, just because I was around her. But when she starts like, oh, I want mommy to do this, I'm like, who raised you? Like I'm not a single dad. I'm like, hey. who used to nurture you? No, it was, but I take it personally. I can only imagine when she's like having like friends and doing things she don't want to hang out with me. I'm like, that'll probably hurt. But
Just wait till they don't want to eat during the day, bro, and then you let them stay up late on weekends and they want to eat something at midnight. Like that's what my boy does. Where I'm like, no, I'm not gonna make you something to eat right now. But then you feel guilty.
Yeah.
And you make them their 2 eggs or whatever the fuck.
Whatever. I do that like my daughter. Like I tried making like I make dinner, right? I make dinner at the house, and I'm like, trying to make different meals. So I'll make something like a side of vegetable, chicken, whatever, and she's like, no, she wants chicken nuggets. And this, and I'm like, well, you're not gonna eat then. You're gonna starve. And then I'm like, I should make her something else. I tell my wife, should I make her peanut butter and jelly or something? She's like, no, stick with your guns. Don't. She's not gonna. She's hungry. She'll eat. But my thing is like, I want her to starve, but she's fine. But like, I overreact to things like that. Yeah, my thing is like, I should make her something because she can eat. But she can just eat whatever I made her though.
Yeah, I cook a lot too, bro, and I stick with the basics for him just in case he doesn't want to eat.
Yeah, so I find myself doing that. Like she likes quesadillas. They like the chicken nuggets.
Yeah, like nuggets and burgers and hot dogs and pizza.
Yeah. I get disappointed because my daughter doesn't want to try any Mexican food. Like she'll eat quesadillas, but she'll eat them with ranch. Like it's like that's the most white thing you could ever do, I think. But like I try to make her like beans and rice and stuff. She's like, she will not. And she does the thing where she overreacts. Where she'll have something she's not a big fan of. And she'll gag like if she's like I just fed her trash or something. Like she'll be like, ugh.
Mijo won't eat beans, bro. And it bugs me.
What is that? What is that, man? I'm okay. I guess I understand it, but it's just like, hey, just try it. What's wrong with beans? Eh? She won't even try it.
There's even stuff like steak, bro. Where I'll grill steak or whatever, and he won't even touch it. But then my brother's religiously working out, and he emulate my brother. My brother eats steak, and he wants to eat steak now.
No.
It's like, what the fuck did I do wrong, man? Or,
what's wrong with you, boy? Yeah, it's it's so funny how they work and like their minds work. And no, I look forward to when she gets older, but I also know it's like it's this weird. I don't know what I heard. This quote was like, "You're raising your kids right, but they're not really gonna be you. Like for you, like it's for everyone else outside once they're starting."
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because like your kids are cool, man, right? And that your kid's gonna be eventually cool out in the world away from you. Like they're gonna be a cool kid or a cool person. And you're like, damn, dude, like that sucks. Like it's like you made something and then everyone else is gonna get to enjoy it besides you.
It's already happening, bro. So again, he's using my phone to text his buddies sometimes, and I guess his buddies will message him a text message saying, "Hey, get on Fortnite." So he's like, "All right, I'm about to get on." So he gets on, and I saw a message the other day where he's like, "Pinche cabrón, you said you're gonna be on right away, and you're not on yet." And this is him in my words. But I'm like, shit.
That's funny.
But yeah,
I like that. It is a cool thing to watch him grow up. Like I love seeing my little girl grow up, but then it makes you sad. Like, damn, man, I wish we were a baby. But it's like, yeah, you're gonna put him out there in the world, like just hoping, oh my God, please be good to my kid. Like I don't care about all those other kids. My kid though, you gotta be good to them.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get my boy to where he's got somewhat of an edge because you don't want him to go out into the world naive either, bro.
No, yeah, and that's I really hate the idea of like bringing them down to reality because it is like what you're right because it's like it's not okay out there. You gotta be really careful. Like I want you to be sweet and nice in real life, but you have to realize like not everyone's like that. Like
because you also saw the naive kids growing up, how they got treated, or they might have been diddled.
The diddler got him, man. That's why. What, Justin Bieber?
Yep. No, yeah. So it's with my boy, bro. He's got somewhat of an edge for sure, thank God, and he's got character. So I think he'll be okay. I pray.
Yeah, and that's all you just like. I think you think about it, you're like, man, I just want my kid to be a good person. Like that's it, because there's so many people out there that suck, man. It's like there's a whole city of people who are garbage, right? And you're like, just don't be my kid. Like, please don't be a piece of shit. Like that's all I want. Like if you want to go into, you're gonna be a furry, that's cool, man. Just don't be a piece of shit. Like that's all. Just don't do that.
Yeah, man. So I'm gonna take it you're familiar with movie Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I was told to ask you about a Zed moment in the basement with you and other fellow comedians.
Me?
Yeah.
You got raped or something?
No, I'm not sure. I'm asking you what I was told to ask you.
A moment? Like what? Of
I was told to ask you about a moment with other comedians. Am I phrasing it wrong? Or
I was just joking.
not as... Oh, okay. Shit.
okay, I was like, hey guys, I didn't get diddled. I swear. I guess I can answer that in a way. Well, this maybe it's taken the wrong way, but it's like as a realization of like what stand-up comics are is like a real thing, right? Because I've always loved stand-up comedy. I love doing it. And then eventually you get to a point in stand-up comedy where it's not all fun and games anymore. Like, it used to be fun going... Like I said, when I talk about the open mics, those are genuinely fun times to me. Where a lot of us would go out and do these shows, and we weren't worried about money, we weren't worried about headshots or EPKs, or getting booked. We were just like, it's fun. Let's go have fun.
You look forward to seeing certain other comics whenever you go to. And
Yeah. I mean, it was
the
like,
hang.
Yeah, you would go and you'd try a new joke, and you'd have some beers, you'd have a fun time, and you'd hang out, you'd make each other laugh. Those were like fun times, right? And then the more and more you get into stand-up, you start realizing this is a business, right? And that kind of sucks. Like, it's not fun anymore. It's like I'm worried about, you know, oh, I post a video of my stand-up, is it getting enough likes or views or whatever? And you start feeling subconscious because they don't. Or when you start working more, you get on the road more, and you start working with other comics. And I worked with a comic where it's somebody who I really looked up to as a comic, and then you start realizing that they're not good people, man. They're not really a good person. They're a great comic, but it's just like they're not good people. Because then when you're on the road with someone, they show you who they are. Like, you see them drinking, you see drugs, you see all that. And you're like, dude, I just want to go home, man. I just want to sleep and then just go to the next show the next night. So I guess that would be my Pulp Fiction moment of realizing that your heroes in comedy, or the people even you just admire or look up to, they're not always the best people, man. Sometimes they're just really funny, broken people.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is where you start doubting. You're like, am I broken? Because I don't want to be like that guy. Like, I thought what made me funny was just being funny, but sometimes what makes you funny
your
is being a
demons.
broken person. You found a way to cope with that. And you're like, I'm not like them at all. Like, I don't want to be... like, I'm not broken like them, you know? Or they come from terrible backgrounds or, horrible upbringings. I'm not that at all, I thought, but, you know...
Right.
So then you find out these truths about the comics. But then you go into it thinking, like, they're just people, like you, so they're not going to be good people. Like, there's just some bad people in the world. There's not that. But it is kind of like a shock, because you're like, man, I really enjoyed this person. Then to find out that they're this way. And it's
Right.
like, that's
They're dog
my moment,
shit.
like, this is not... like, I think there's even a saying, like, once it's not fun, that's when it's a job, you know? Like, and that's when it's art, I guess. Like, in that way, I can never go back to having straight up just fun with stand-up comedy. It's always going to be something where... And I'm not even a full-time, like, booked comedian like all these other guys, right? I do my gigs. I've gotten gigs out of town, and I get paid, and I do them, but... yeah, you kind of think about it as like, does stand-up do this to you, or are you a stand-up because this was done to you? Like, you do realize, like, not everyone is in it for... They're not who you thought they were. That's what it's like. So those days of, like, good times, telling jokes, just talking shit, like, it's done. Now you're going to this business side of, like...
All the self-promotion and...
Yeah. Like, do people recognize me? Am my videos getting viewed enough? Am I going to get booked here? Am I reaching out to the right people? And now it's like all business. So I guess that was my moment of that. It's like, this is not what I expected. I still love it. I always love it. It was just not what I expected when I first started out, though.
And locally, is it pretty supportive, or dog eat dog, or both? Or?
Here, I feel like it was, it's very supportive. But I also feel like there's been there's been downs and dips and whatever of the comics that come in here, of the support. As for what I can tell, and there's a new generation of comics coming through here in El Paso that are really great. And they're really ambitious. They're really doing things faster than I remember doing them. They're like 2-3 years in, they're already booking comedy clubs, where it took me 3 years to even get a guest spot at the comic strip. But they're already doing things. Or they're going viral, or, like, these weird, like, things that we didn't really have. So I think and that's the thing, I push for that. Like, you definitely, if you can get into a comedy club your first year, go do it. Like, definitely, there's no wait your turn, I don't think. There's no timetable for it, you go do it. But I think the other comics here are very supportive of each other, as far as I've seen. Unless there's something I'm missing. But as far as I can tell, I've seen nothing but support from everybody.
That's good, bro. So earlier you talked about your big bomb moment. What was your first big laugh that, as tough as it got you going
And stand up.
in stand up where you're like, fuck yeah, man, I'm gonna keep on doing this? Did you have a big moment or a
Oh well, I don't. I probably did. It's funny, but like I feel
or
like
a combination of events or
yeah. I feel like the first joke that I told that was like, man, this is actually a pretty okay joke, and I don't tell it anymore. Was I had this joke about Selena. I don't know if Adrian remembers, but I had this joke about Selena, and I've never told it. I haven't told it in years because it's so bad. But that was, I remember it would get laughs. It would get genuine laughs. I'm like, and it was an idea I thought, like, this is my first great idea, and so that felt like a thing where I can keep coming up with better ideas. I can keep up good ideas, and it evolved so much over a couple, just 2-3 years, where it became just a punchline to becoming more of a joke, a little bit of a kind of a story in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just became more than that. So I'm not gonna tell a Selena joke because it doesn't work very well. Like if I tell it to you,
no,
but
but
I've told the joke in Texas. I think it was on Laredo when I told it, and I was kind of brave with it. And people laughed, but they're like, "Yeah, you can't tell a joke around here. You'll get killed for that. You'll get
Sacrilege.
shot. You'll get shot." I'm like, yeah, if you tell that joke. No, they just were like, they laughed at it, but they're like, yeah, if you go to like Corpus Christi, of course you don't tell that joke. Don't tell that joke ever. And I'm like, I kind of want to tell that joke in Corpus Christi. I would bring it out of retirement just to tell it out there and see what happens if I make it out. But that was like the first joke that I was like, this is a good joke. Like it's not the best now, but at the time I was like, this is a really good joke. I can't believe I came up with this. So that was one of the first moments I'm like, I can keep doing this. I can keep writing stuff and coming up with ideas. It was before that. It was just like dick jokes, jacking off jokes. Nothing right that great. But that was like this has got a punchline and it's getting laughs.
Yeah, so whenever you've played at the comic strip or anywhere else, because you went to San Antonio that one time, I remember too, or has it been several times in San Antonio?
I've been there a few times, man. San Antonio, I think like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, I remember one of those times that I was there, you were up there too, but I was doing the theme park stuff with the family, so I didn't get to go. But
yeah.
I remember telling my cousins about it, but they were busy too at that point, at that moment in time.
Fuck, nobody went to my show.
Let me know whenever you're there next time, bro.
Yeah.
Ahead of time, and I'll let them know.
I got kicked out of a comedy club in San Antonio. They what was it called? I can't remember. I can't remember the name. No, it's not around anymore now. It's I can't remember, but I remember I did a show, and it was a show for a friend who was like, "Hey, can you want to do the show? I've got these people coming." It was like veterans, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." So I was a headliner, and this woman was like heckling me, talking the whole time, and I don't remember exactly what I said, but I said something along the lines of bitch, and the lady was cool, man. She was cool. She was a veteran. She didn't give a fuck. She'd been shot at and shit. So she was cool. At the end, she's like, "Hey, I'm sorry. I was just trying to have fun." I was like, "Yeah, no, don't worry about it." She offered me a drink, and we talked, and it was cool. And then the club owner's like, "Hey, can I talk to you?" Like, she ran up to me. "Can I talk to you?" Like, serious face. I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah." And she goes, "Okay, so I was supposed to be there for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday." She's like, "Yeah, you're no longer the headliner." Like,
shit.
We're going to switch it up. So-and-so's going to be the feature. This person's going to be the headliner. You're going to be the host. I was like, oh. Yes, yeah. I was like, I'm not doing that. I came out here for headliner, to be a headliner. I didn't come out here to be host. And the pay is going to be dramatically less, of course. And she's like, well, that's what it is. Or you're not going to get paid. I was like, all right. I was like, why don't you just pay me for tonight? And I think we'll just call it quits. Like, I'm not gonna come back here and be the host. Like, there's nothing wrong with being host, but it's just you can't go from headliner to host in the same event, the same weekend. I can't remember the name of the club, but I remember laughing. I was like, yeah, that's why you got shut down, bitch. That's why, because you didn't support me. That's why. Shout out to that comedy club for giving me a chance. I can't remember the name. I wish I could remember it. I think Iggy's been there too. He probably knows. I just can't remember the name of it. But I do remember when I got shut down. I was like, yeah, that's right. That's right.
And you're not going into this with a contract whenever you set out to be a headliner?
No, there wasn't even like a real contract. It was like just like an agreement that I was going to be the headliner for this weekend, and I had done this show for a friend of mine and it was just going to be for that show and then the rest of the weekend, and they were cool with it. I sent them my press kit, my headshots, everything, like videos, so they knew what kind of comic it was. I think she just didn't like that I called this other person a bitch, which is, I think it's different than I was like. If I said it after the show, I think on stage I feel like I should have been able to say it. And then the lady was cool with it, totally fine with it. I was like, I even went up to her after the show, after everything had happened where they told me I'm being demoted. I was like, were you upset? Like, cause I was trying to get a gauge of it. I was like, did you complain? Like, I didn't ask her straight up. I was like trying to get a gauge. And she's like, no, it was cool. Like, I didn't mind. We're just messing around. Like, and I didn't get that feeling from her that she went and complained. I think the owner just didn't like that. So that like the few times I've been to San Antonio, I probably had like 2 good shows, and the other ones are like meh. Something about going to San Antonio where they just like don't laugh, but then at the end like, dude, you're funny, man. You're so funny. I'm like, where the fuck were the laughs, man? Because I wasn't hearing them. But they just were like, I don't know if they just were like, like that.
Okay, I'm sure you feed off of the laughs for sure.
Yeah, dude. Like if there's a great laugh, like I'm in it, man. I'm vibing. I'm rolling with it.
In the zone.
Throwing new jokes in there, like everything. But if it's like a quiet laugh where it's still getting it, then it's so like it feels like there's no laughs. It might as well be no laughs because you can feel it in your chest. You're like, I'm suffocating here. I can't.
You're questioning yourself. And
yeah, I can't get out of this hole. It's like, what they say, quicksand?
Yeah.
What was that movie, The Replacements? You remember they talk about quicksand?
I was wearing the jersey the last episode.
I saw a video. I was like, dude, that's a dope jersey, man. But it reminds me of that quicksand analogy where it's just like, oh my, I'm trying to dig myself out, and you just wind up making it worse, you know? So that's one of the analogies I use too on myself is like, when you don't feel it, you start pulling yourself even harder, which makes you drown even more in the quicksand.
Yeah, I just got the Bobby Boucher jersey too.
Oh, that's cool, man. I love that one. Which
fucking $20 on Amazon, bro. Both of them. Yeah.
So the one you got, the replacement jersey, is that, which one was that?
Falco.
Okay. I thought so, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
I
it was
saw
Falco.
I was like, I recognize that. That's the only time I ever liked Washington.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Division rival.
Yeah.
So speaking of.
Oh, yeah, man.
Your team, bro. I'm not going to make fun of you. I'm not.
Oh, go for it.
No. They didn't do much in the free agency, bro. How do you feel about that, bro?
Oh, I feel absolutely terrible about this year. I am not expecting much this year. Yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan. I don't know if you ever said that, but we talked about it because you're an Eagles fan. And he's got an Eagles logo on his numbers outside. And I saw that, man.
On my address.
Shit a few times, bro. Fuck this place. Spit on it. I hate the Eagles, man.
There's an Eagles helmet behind you somewhere, too.
And the thing is, I can outwardly admit that the Eagles have success. They've been a good team. Like, over the last... definitely over the same time frame since the Dallas Cowboys have won a Super Bowl. The Eagles have been much better. And I hate that. I hate it. So this year, what was I expecting? I was expecting Saquon. I'm not going to lie. So when he got, I was like, fuck. He's a bum anyways. Fuck that guy. But I wanted him. So I was expecting something. And then I was expecting Derrick Henry.
Right.
Nothing on that.
And I just saw a day or two ago that Derrick Henry said he was never reached out to.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's what everybody was assuming.
I assumed maybe he was going to make more in Baltimore. I wouldn't have blamed. Of course, why would you not want to play in Baltimore? Why would you not want to play in
competitors?
Yeah, much better team. Everything. Why wouldn't you? Lamar Jackson's a better quarterback. He's a good quarterback. I guess you could say better.
I think he's in the same boat as Dak as far as come playoffs at all.
Yeah,
it goes out the window.
And I do love Dak, man. I love Dak. I love Romo. But, then you get into these points where you start criticizing the quarterbacks. Like, you have to. You just have to. So the way I don't feel very positive at all. And the funny thing is, I'm going to say that, right? I'm going to say this team sucks. This team's going to be ass, right? And then guess what I'm going to be watching every fucking Sunday? I'm watching this dumb team play every fucking game with my hopes held high every time. Because it doesn't matter. Like, for the longest, it's been since 95, right? They won. Every single time, man. I was watching fucking... What's his name? Vinny Testaverde be quarterback. Man, I was watching this team back then when it was.
I remember Testaverde.
When it was what's his name? Carter. I can't remember his first name. Quincy Carter. Quincy Carter. Like all these terrible quarterbacks I've seen. Because I've just always watched it, man. I've always, and I haven't got to enjoy a single game in years. I mean, I enjoy the games, but it's just like I haven't enjoyed a full season since I was 11, I think.
Well, the first 11 games for last season for the Eagles, bro, where they barely squeezed by with the win.
Oh, I love it.
Stressful as fuck, bro.
The collapse was epic, and I enjoyed every second of the Eagles collapse because
the chef's kiss right there.
I was afraid I was being a hater, right? I'm like, they're just barely winning. They're barely winning. And I'm like, in my side, I'm a hater, bro. They're doing pretty good, man. They're enjoying their tush push moments and shit. But then when they collapsed, it was like I wasn't expecting it, man. It was like kind of came out of nowhere, but I was secretly happy about it. But you saw it because you went from the best team in the NFC, not just the division, the NFC.
Expected to go all the way.
How could you not with the way they were playing, man? And what's his name? DeAndre Swift was doing great, which is crazy because I kind of feel like DeAndre Swift should have still been there, but I get it. You upgrade at running back. I understand. Because he had a good season. He had a really good season. Everything was going right, and then just to see him falter, I enjoyed it. And I couldn't enjoy it that much because the Cowboys also failed below expectations for a first round exit, which was so funny because I should have expected it. I was like, I should have been expecting it. And then, because it happens every year, it happens.
So that week one of the playoffs for the Cowboys, that's of all my predictions for the playoffs, that's the only one I got right. And only reason I said that was because part of it was me being a hater. But Jordan Love went from building up. He was building momentum, bro.
I had that fear because he was actually playing good football for the last few weeks of that season. I was like, I was a little worried because I'm like, he's balling out, man. He's actually making plays. And this is with nobody at receiver. I don't know who he's even got. Christian Watson or something like that. I don't even remember. I can't even name him. He was absolutely shredding that defense, which had been pretty good even with all the interceptions. And he was just, everyone was open. And this is where I got to in that playoff game where I was so upset that I just started laughing. Because I was like, dude, of course he's open. Why wouldn't he be open? Yeah. Why wouldn't he be wide open? And why wouldn't it be a 40-20 whatever game at half or whatever it was at the half where it was just blowing them out of the water at a home playoff game? I was like, this is funny, man. This is what this team is. And I still go into every season with high hopes. But so like I will outwardly say like the Cowboys are gonna suck ass, right? But like inside, I'm always hoping, because how do you not?
It's your team.
Yeah, because it's. You can't tell me there's not a Bears fan out there who's thinking it's their year every year, or a Browns fan. Like there's somebody out there every year who's in denial about their season, and they try to be realistic. Oh, come on! There's no reason if you were realistic, you wouldn't watch any game because you know that the Browns aren't going anywhere. The Chargers are ass. You're not all these teams that you're putting your hopes on. They're gonna let you down, right? But you still watch. So that's how I feel about that. Like the Cowboys, like. There's this weird stigma of like the unrealistic Cowboys fan of like they think they're gonna win every year. And in my mind I do, but outwardly I'm gonna tell you no, we're not. We're not gonna win shit. But how do you not go into watching any kind of sport without being unrealistic in some way? You have to be a little. I'm not living in reality when it comes to sports, man. Like I'm gonna be unrealistic as fuck, man.
So whatever year it was that the Super Bowl was in Houston, I know a guy that bought Super Bowl tickets. Because he expected the Cowboys to go all the way. So you end up seeing his Facebook feed and everything, and he never made it to the game. He sold the tickets.
Oh, really?
But he had a good experience out there anyway. I think he ended up at a party with, I think Bruno Mars was there, and his pictures were great for sure.
Oh, cool.
But I remember just thinking that's got to be a mind fuck in itself that you buy your tickets and...
I couldn't do that. No. I even know there's people out there who have tattoos, right? There's Cowboy fans. I can't do that, man. I can't. I love the Cowboys, but I'm never getting a tattoo of those fucking bums, man. Fuck those guys, man. Imagine how pissed I'll be. Another first round exit, and they'll scratching my arm. Oh shit, fuck them. They're not getting my money that much. They're not gonna get a permanent spot on my body. It's like I love them, but no way, dude.
How do you feel about other Cowboys fans? Or do you get along with a bunch of them? I mean, obviously with family.
I don't, man.
I'm the same way with the Eagles fans, bro. I'd rather be
delusional.
my close circle, and that's it, bro.
I mean, because like even if you talk about like I make jokes about Jalen Hurts being ass, bro, because I make that joke because I'm a hater, right? But he's a good quarterback. Yeah. And if you talk to Eagle fans, they would get rid of him right now. Like, are you talking about a franchise that has, they didn't appreciate Carson Wentz, I don't think. And then once Nick...
He got kind of he turned into an asshole towards the end. That was what everybody's saying.
Oh yeah, and I mean that was the thing that season that they won the Super Bowl. He played a huge part in that season. I mean, I'm being a hater. I thought he was ass too, man. But and then Nick Foles kind of stepped in, took over at the right. He got hot at the right moment, and then now you got a statue of Nick Foles at the
Big Dick Nick.
Big Dick Nick, right? And you're like, you kind of move on from that next guy. You move from, of course, how could you not move on from Carson Wentz to the guy who won your Super Bowl? But then to move on from like Jalen Hurts into what, year 3? Is he? I don't even know. Like automatically because he had struggled. And he's going to struggle again. I don't think Kellen Moore is the answer. I don't think you guys understand that. But the thing is, his natural talent's going to do something.
I think the schematics will help for sure. I at least hope that. But it's... I said it before, bro, where it just looks good on paper for sure right now. And I'm hoping for the best, but that's been the case before, and they do terrible.
No, on paper, if this were Madden, you guys would be winning every game, man. But like, if you look at like, and I think it's also again because I'm a hater, but I always hope for the worst for the Philly franchise. But I know Eagle fans too, and I don't. For the most part, they're all cool, man. I met them, I talked to them. And Cowboy fans, I genuinely understand the hatred from other fan bases, right? I totally get it, man. Because going in and you know, if you go into it blind and you go to a Cowboys game, there's some annoying fucking Cowboy fans, man. They're annoying. I go in and I enjoy my game and I get out. That's what I do. If I go to the games like to actually see them, I'm celebrating, I'm cheering, and I get out. But there's some that are just so loud and obnoxious and wrong with their opinions, man. There's so many wrong opinions. Like again, like I say, I like Dak, right? But if you talk about some other Cowboy fans, they want to scrap that whole franchise. They trade him, get rid of him. We haven't had a quarterback until Romo came in. You can name every quarterback and no success whatsoever. After Aikman, there was what? I don't even know who was after Aikman. We went through Testaverde, Quincy Carter. Randall Cunningham was a Cowboy for a little bit, but I think he came in for Troy because he was hurt. Yeah, if you go through it, you're like, it's not easy. If you even look at every other franchise and their inability to find a starting franchise quarterback, it's hard. Like, you're talking about you can't just replace somebody at all. Like, it's just a hard thing. I mean, you go through, let's see, what's the franchise that had a quarterback? Trying to think of one. Like it takes a while. That's all I was trying to say. Like even like right now in Chicago with what happened to Justin Fields, I thought he was a good quarterback.
Yes.
I don't think that was a good move to trade him at all. I think you draft a wide receiver for him. You draft Marvin Harrison Jr. And see what he can do because I thought he's a good quarterback.
Yeah,
I think
he's
decent. I think he's athletic. I think he would have been good. And then what are you gonna do? You gotta start all over again with another quarterback because that's exactly what's gonna happen. And then you'll be back to square one again. So that's what
it's going to be a team that's completely unseasoned.
Yeah, you're going right back. And like I just feel like there's a lot of Cowboy fans who are like Dak is ass. Like and there's times where he played bad, and then they revert back to well he's just a big numbers guy. But it's a team game. Like it really is. And I just don't think they live in reality either. I don't live in reality, but they live in ultra not reality. Like they're like, oh, you can just pick somebody up, just draft somebody, cut him, get him somewhere else. Yeah, and then where do we find a quarterback? Where's that guy at? That was a 4th round pick. That's a great player. You just don't come across those quarterbacks all the time, you know.
Yep.
Jalen Hurts was a second round pick.
I believe it was a 2nd round.
So it's like that's what I'm saying. Like those guys don't come around very often, especially in those rounds, especially for the price that they're at right now, and with the talent they have. So like, you know, I don't get along with a lot of Cowboy fans, but there's a select group I feel like that I've met on Twitter that have reality, man. They're like, this team is not going anywhere until Jerry Jones is dead, right? I think we all can agree to that, right? He's too busy fathering illegitimate kids and shit to care about this team.
No, so I remember taking my nephew to Monster Jam at the Sun Bowl, however many years ago, a long time ago. And this is before I knew that the Eagles hang out here in El Paso was the Ale House. But I had my Eagles lanyard popping out of my pocket and into my crotch area, bro. And this guy goes up to me. He's like, pretty much points at my cock. He's like, you know, there's a place where we hang out, right? I'm like, nah, man.
In the bathroom, man. Let's go hang out.
No, yeah. So like, no, we hang out at the ale house. So I'll admit I've been there probably at least one game a season.
Yeah.
Not a lot. Because I stress out during game. They could be kicking ass. They could be losing. I stress out. I pace. Yeah. And I don't want people seeing that shit, bro.
I agree.
But I've gone, bro. And the times I've gone, a lot of people are cool with me. And I know a few people, like my buddy Guy. He's always there. He's cool as fuck. But I've gone with my brother. I've gone with other friends and have a good time. But there's always a couple of fans that are overreacting and then looking to see if people are looking at him to see if, oh, that's a true fan right there. Because look at his fucking reaction. Fuck that guy, bro. You know?
I agree, man. I don't think I can enjoy a game with other Cowboy fans. I feel like I'd rather stay at home and watch it, or be at the game. Like even then, it's still kind of like, motherfuckers are annoying, bro. Like I cannot enjoy a game with them. I just can't do it.
Because I remember a time before social media, before anything, like I remember being an Eagles fan and just for whatever stupid reason that I was a fan of them. And you don't come across each other that often. Of course, not being a kid either. You know, you're not going to a party and running into another Eagles fan or whatever. It was just rare. So now with social media, now with you being a grown up, going to different places to check out Eagles games or whatever, you see a lot more of them for sure. Mm-hmm. But I'd rather watch games with my close circle, and that's it, bro. You know,
I usually watch games with my dad. That's usually who I watch it with, and we're both getting pissed off. Yeah. But we're both used to each other's rage, you know? Like, we're okay with that. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, it's like, the franchises are very, like, they're out there. Like, everyone knows about, you know, Philly fans and their reputation.
Notorious
for it. I mean, my wife, she's a Giants fan. Her family are Eagle fans. They've been to the game. I think it was at Texas Stadium at the time, and they had a terrible experience with Cowboy fans. And I was like, of course I understand. Like, I'm not saying I understand the behavior. I was just like, why would you not? You wouldn't like them after that experience because they're dicks. Like, I would never personally be a dick to an Eagles fan. Like, I would start a fight. I would say your team is trash or whatever, but I'm not gonna fucking, you know, call you out in front of everyone because I'm not that kind of fan. I would rather just not even have an altercation with you. With anybody, to be honest. I would play the game and hang out, but yeah, and then there's like those are the annoying fans, like ones who take it too far, who, like, why would you even talk to another like person? Like, I guess my brother-in-law was a kid at the time, and he had a terrible experience where the Cowboy fans were talking shit to him in the bathroom or something like that. And I was like, why would you talk to a kid like that? Like, but there's fans like that who generally have nothing going on in their life, so they're just, this is their whole entire life. And for me, it is my entire life for a little bit, and then I move on from it.
Yeah, for sure.
Once the first round exit happens, I move on. But they genuinely take it, and this is their whole personality. Like, I love the team. I love football. I do. But I would never start a fight. I couldn't imagine even being in a fight. You see all those fight videos? They're so funny, man. But they're like, that's sad. Bro. You're in a fight at a stadium? You paid who knows how much to get in this game.
And people have died, bro.
Yeah. It was it a Patriots fan, I think, that died?
The most recent one I can think of, I think it was Raiders Niners a couple years back, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember a Patriots one, but maybe
something. I feel like he got hit or something and he passed away. But yeah, I couldn't imagine doing that. Like, I have I don't know if you know Steven Pula, comedian. He's an Eagles fan, right? And we talk.
Good man.
He's a good guy. But we talk about it too. He's like, hey, we kind of talk about going to a game in Philly, and I'm like, dude, that'd be dope. But then in my mind, I'm like, I'm kind of scared. I don't know if I'm gonna make it out. I'm like, I might not even wear a jersey, bro. I'll just wear a trench coat.
Neutral colors.
Yeah. I might flash it every now and then, but I can't. I just like, that's a different level, man. I feel like he'd be safer going to a Cowboys game than I would be safer going to a game.
For sure.
Just because the notorious behavior of it. I mean, but I also feel like I got to try this. Like, I want to try it just once to see. And we'll record it.
I'll take a stabbing.
Yeah. They got the first fat layer. I think I'm alright, man. They could have made it worse.
Yeah, so I never talk shit before a game. I never do, bro. And
oh yeah.
But I get Cowboys fans especially, and it could be family, it could be friends. They always talk shit ahead of the game. My buddy Big Dog for one.
I can't.
And then the second the Eagles win, I'll call them up.
They can't handle
nowhere to be found. It happens with a lot of people, bro. But the way I look at it, bro, if people attack me first, I still stay quiet because I'm superstitious that way. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to talk shit and then jinx the game or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because I felt like every time I talk shit, they lose. So I keep to myself. But if they're gonna bring out their guns and take their first shots at me, I'll bring out the big guns once the Eagles win or whatever.
Yeah.
And even then, even if the Eagles do lose, I'm like, it is what it is. They talk shit. Let them have it, you know.
Yeah.
But I never talk shit ahead of the game, bro. I never do.
I don't either, man.
But people always feel it necessary to attack them in.
Yeah.
And in a sense, I'm also kind of happy with the fact that my cousins and my friends, if they think Eagles, they think about me for sure.
Yeah.
So I take pride in that, but fuck no, football's not my identity, bro.
No.
As much as I love the Eagles, it's not my identity.
I'm superstitious too, man. My superstition was always that I can never jack off on game day. I was like, I can't jack off on game day. The Cowboys will lose.
You'll lose your legs.
When they start losing, I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom, bro. Fuck this shit. I did this for nothing. Busting a nut. I shouldn't have said that. But, yeah, fuck it. No, that was.
No, you're good, bro.
It was always like that. I was like, did I wear this hat? Did I wear this jersey when they last won that crazy game? They try to go that way. But I also don't talk shit because it is one of those things like, you know, it's gonna come back, or it's either it's gonna come back to you, or you're just gonna look stupid. One is you don't win by talking shit. You just go in and you enjoy the game results if they win. But yeah, I can't be a shit talker like that.
There was a distant cousin that's a big time Cowboys fan, and one of the times when Romo was still quarterback, that he had messed up his leg or whatever it was. That there's that famous picture of him laying down on the turf.
Oh, I think it was his collarbone.
Was
that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I just photoshopped that picture and I fucking put up it was around right before Christmas, I think.
Uh-huh.
So I had a picture of a Christmas tree and I had that Romo image copied and pasted several times as the ornament. so I sent it to him.
Oh no! Dude.
And he unfriended me. He started. He misspelled the word hypocrite, but he called me a hypocrite for whatever stupid reason. But
I had that picture as my my banner, like my wallpaper, like on my Facebook page for a while, because I thought this is perfect Cowboys. The representation is right. It's right up there. I love Tony Romo, but it's right down there with the Romo, where he fumbled against Seattle. It's just where he fumbled the snap or whatever and tried to run in. It's just it's what the franchise is, man. That's what it is. So I embrace that because it is what it is, you know. Like those pictures of like crying Cowboy fans at the game. I always make those my banner because it's funny. That's what it is. But to get upset about it, that's nuts, dude. It's like, just don't watch the sport then. Don't watch sports if you're gonna get hurt by the team. Like, I'll get hurt, but I'm not gonna cry about it to somebody else, you know. I'm not gonna talk shit. I'm not gonna unfriend anybody over it either. I do know there's some bad. I think a bad sports take though will really upset me, man. That makes me mad. I'm like, dude, like, you know who has bad sports takes? Ozzy. You guys know Ozzy?
Yeah.
Terrible sports take. You know, he's a comedian. Terrible. Ozzy. Terrible sports takes, bro. I'm not afraid to say that. He's a 49ers fan. So I took a great enjoyment in watching that Super Bowl. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, but he's got terrible sports takes. But it's like you can't argue with anybody because it doesn't matter. It's like me telling you something.
Yeah.
Why would you listen when you've already made it mine? You know. So I'm not that my sports takes are better, but I'm also I'm not a dick about them either. I'm not like forcing everyone to believe my point of view because everyone has their point of view and it could be wrong, you know. But man, yeah, I love football. I love it so much, like. But it has not brought me enjoyment in a long time.
No, it sucks, bro.
I can't believe. But see, you guys had a Super Bowl. I would take that. And be like, I'll be good for a while.
And I had an altercation for the year that they won too. When Wentz got hurt, I honestly told everybody this is the best backup quarterback we could ask for. And you know what a posada is, right? Around Christmas time?
Yeah.
The posadas. So one of my cousins had a posada, and the second I get there, before even saying hi, my cousin's husband starts ragging on me. No, fucking Eagles, ya valieron madre, blah, blah, blah. And like, hey, man, say hi to me, give me a handshake, give me a hug, whatever, before you start talking about fucking Wentz and whatever. And I told him the same thing. I was like, dude, this is the best chance at a backup quarterback anybody could have.
If you were going to have a chance, yeah.
If we're going to have a chance, this is the best bet, you know, because I always loved Nick Foles. And lo and behold, look at what happened. But I got pissed off at him. I mean, we're cool and everything, but at the moment, again, football's not live, but it pissed me off that, hey, man, just say hi to me. Something else.
Let's
have a good time at this posada. Let's not talk about football, man.
Let's not do this, man. Yeah. But that was a crazy season. Like, if I was not a Cowboys fan, I would say that was one of the best Super Bowls I'd seen. Just everything was magic. It was like written by like a script. Like, something magical just happened where you guys, and that's what I think is funny about New England too. They lose to these teams that they shouldn't. Right? They should not have lost to New York twice. They should not have lost to Philly.
Not to Eli Manning.
No, man. And that was when he fucking lit. That Sped kid lit up, bro. He became a special player for literally because he was.
Because one of those years they started the season off at 0-4, I think.
Yeah. I think they were a wild card or something. I don't know. They shouldn't have had a chance, right? And then all of a sudden, football Jesus, he becomes everything works for him. And I remember seeing those Super Bowls too. I'm like, fuck, what, are you kidding me? Eli Manning, this derpy motherfucker comes in, beats the Cowboys at home. The NFC leading, like, they were 13-3 or something that season, and he comes into the stadium
and gets 2 before his brother does. That's significantly better.
On the road, man, he just does he flipped a switch, like that little, like some dumb switch in the back that just made him from some idiot to an amazing quarterback, and he just happened to do it at the right time. And that's what I felt about that Super Bowl, watching the Eagles win. Hating every moment of it, man. I hated that Super Bowl. But I'm like, that Philly, like, everything worked. Like, that team was just different. So, I mean, as like someone who loves football, like, I can, outside my perspective, I can say, damn, that's good football. That was just a good team. Nick Foles was just the right guy at the right time. But then, like, I mean, who was it? I can't remember when Andy Dalton came in for the Cowboys. Like, he was a backup. And there were so many Cowboy fans who were like, Andy Dalton's better. He's the guy. You put him in, this team can go far. And what did he do? He shit the bed. He was not anything what everyone thought he was. He was not the Nick Foles guy. I think that people were like genuinely believing. I think it was when Dak got hurt, when he broke his ankle, that Andy Dalton came in and like, we're fine. We're better. Actually, we're better with Andy Dalton. That's the ignorance I'm talking about. To think that this guy who was a washout in wherever he was at before. I don't remember where he was at after Cincinnati. If he went anywhere else, I don't even know. He might have been straight from Cincy. I can't remember.
I want to say no. I won't say it, but I think he went to. I don't remember. I'm thinking Jets, bro, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, I can't remember. But I know he was like that's the delusion I'm talking about. To think so badly about the guy you have because he hasn't gotten you to where you're at, to praise up the guy who hasn't done shit either, because he was really good in Cincinnati at his prime, and then he faltered. But I was like, you're not gonna get anything else. We're gonna be lucky to even if we even have a break even on the season, or whatever happens. But that's the ignorance I'm talking about. Like, just assume anyone can step in and do that. And with Nick Foles, he was actually a pretty good backup,
Dude, I was in Norman, Oklahoma for work for a week, for safety week, where we get safety classes and a bunch of stuff about the state of the company, and classes and meetings and PowerPoints and everything. And a bunch of my department gets together for that, and we'd gone for the game before the Super Bowl. We'd gone to Buffalo Wild Wings, and it was the Vikings versus the Eagles. Oh. And there was that commercial where they show tickets for the Super Bowl or whatever are going to be available at whatever the fuck date, and it was Vikings versus Patriots or whatever the fuck it was, or whoever it was. I can't remember. But we were expected to lose, bro.
Yeah, I was expecting that too. I mean,
the underdogs.
You lose. Carson Wentz was. How could you not think he was an MVP season that year? Like, he was really balling out, man. And that's a devastating injury to happen at that time. So you just think, oh, they're done. That's it. And I thought that too every single week, and they just kept pulling it out. And that Super Bowl too, man. I was a big hater about, like, I honestly didn't want to see Tom Brady win again, though. I was just like, but I was also like, I can't have. The only shit I've been able to talk about to Philly fans, no rings. I can't have that happen. And then they got one ring.
I thought he was gonna pull a rabbit out of his ass, though, bro.
I thought so too. But it was like I said, outside perspective, that was a great Super Bowl, man. Like,
well, the first half, the Eagles were dominating.
Yeah, and I genuinely thought Tom Brady was gonna come back. I really did. And I mean, there's a couple things that could. I think there was also. I don't know if it was that Super Bowl where Tom Brady had a pass from the receiver to the quarterback when he was running out. And
they failed at it.
Yeah, I think it was like it hit the tips of his fingers and came out. And he was pretty open. So like those weird little things of moments. That's what I'm saying. Like he had those moments against New York where things didn't go for him, but they went for the other team. And like when that happens, he loses to teams he shouldn't have lost.
I haven't seen the game in forever, but I think that was right before the first half ended, because they wanted to go into the second half with more points on the board. So I think that's what that play was, where he didn't catch it. I might be wrong though.
See, I'll be watching that game every day, man. I couldn't imagine, like as an Eagles fan too, like that's probably a big moment, because that was like, for so long this franchise has been like so close. When the best chance they had was with McNabb in the Super Bowl. Was that against Tom Brady? That was against Tom Brady.
Tom Brady also.
That Terrell Owens came back from his broken leg. Like just everything that you thought.
Freddie Mitchell, and I can't remember who else was in there, but yeah
that was a good team. That was like and that's one of the things I want to say too about. I think there's a lot of Philly fans who don't appreciate Donovan McNabb either.
He was badass, bro. I love McNabb.
He was
Westbrook, McNabb.
Some of the games I saw as a Cowboys fan, watching him just destroy the Cowboys, light it up with Deshaun Jackson, or like even T.O. when he was really great before he came to the Cowboys, which I loved him when he was a Cowboy. There's not a great appreciation. It's like, dude, he was a great player. He didn't win the big one, but that was a great team. He was a great player. For so long, he brought a lot of success to that franchise. They didn't get it done, but that's why I'm like, with even now with Jalen Hurts, they were ready to move on with him too. It's like, who do you think is gonna happen? It's like, you got lucky with this guy. He's a good quarterback. Now again, I don't hope they have a successful season. I really hope Kellen Moore fucks him over, but I can see the potential. I can see why you made the move, but you just gotta look at the history of from Dak to Herbert. Now you're going to Hurts. I'm like, I don't know. He kind of didn't really do shit last year with Herbert, and like if you want to go with it, I kind of think he's a better quarterback out of the three. Anyways, like maybe talent wise, I would say he's better. He just didn't have a good season, so you see. I mean, he's got weapons. So if it didn't happen this year, there's like literally no excuse, man. He's got weapons. He's got great receivers. He's got a great running back. He's got I know Kelsey retiring is a big blow to that offensive line, but it's still a great team. I don't know about the defense. I'm not too familiar with it. I don't think they did really well last season.
No, they didn't. They were terrible, but with all the moves they made in the free agency and who they're possibly looking at, it might be okay. But
and then Reddick just moved him to New York. Hassan
Reddick went to the Jets.
Yeah, Jets. Yeah. That was a move. I can't remember the linebacker that they signed during the season.
Byard.
Is that what it was? Was it there's a guy from Minneapolis.
Oh,
I can't remember the name. But he was like, at a point in time, he was a really great linebacker, and then I don't know if he got injured or something. And it was kind of a little thing between Dallas and Philly, right? And he went to Philly.
No, that was Byard from the Titans,
was that
no?
him? Oh, okay. But I mean, that's
but he was a no-show, bro.
I don't think he's there anymore. I think did he get picked up somewhere?
They picked him up for a year, and I don't think he's there anymore.
Yeah, I think he's somewhere else now too. So like those moves that Roseman makes, they're like great moves. Like it's literally like a one-season move, but like that potential was there for that. So I think that's a really good GM for the franchise. I think he has a great mind for it. Is that Howie Roseman coming in?
Probably.
Jerry Jones heard me talking about his kid.
Hey!
That's right. Is that Groot? That was Groot.
Probably, bro. So, to close this off, bro, I was going to ask you, the times you've been a feature act, have you ever featured for any big names? Or?
Oh, yeah, man. There's only really two big names. There's some really good comedians, but like the two that really stood out to me, I got to feature for Dustin Diamond.
Screech.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
He's a cool dude, man. He was a really nice guy. And I remember my wife went with me, and she was a huge Saved by the Bell fan. So I was like, you got to ask for a picture. You got to get a picture with Screech, right? And I didn't call him Screech. I just always called him Dustin. Because I figured like he would...
punch you or something.
Yeah, he wouldn't like it. He was a very nice guy, though. From what I remember of him, he was a really nice guy.
Well, if you saw him on Celebrity Rehab, they painted him to be a villain.
He was a total dick on that.
Yeah.
I do remember that. But I don't know if he knew his reputation and kind of cleaned it up. Because he was really nice to me and my wife. But my wife got too scared. She's like, I can't ask him. I was like, just ask him. Like, I'm sure he doesn't mind. But she kind of has that regret. So yeah, after he passed away, I was like, oh man, that's sad. He was a really nice guy to me. That was my experience with him. And he was very funny too. I think that surprised me because I really hadn't seen a stand-up. I thought he was genuinely funny. I get to feature for Willie Barcena in
Love
Texas,
Willie.
man. A big run. I learned so much from Willie, man. I don't think I've ever seen a comic write so much. He had notebooks, stacks of notebooks full of material. Wow. And he made me feel like shit. Not just me, genuinely, because he was like, if you're not writing, you gotta write. You gotta start writing. He's like,
it doesn't surprise me because he's hilarious, but
he constantly
he's a master of the craft.
And I think one of the things that was holding him back, I mean, not like, this is not a diss or anything, but I mean, his social media was not where it's at now.
Yeah, now it's crazy.
He, I think he might be I think he got help from his sons, I believe, something like that. But once he started getting help from them, I mean, the material was always there. The jokes were always there. Everything was always funny. But to be able to post, like, that's kind of a weird thing. I don't even understand TikTok and stuff like that. But he would post and it's just, boom, skyrocket. But that was a guy who so much material. Constant material, just notebooks of stuff, like, filled from top to bottom page, notebooks. He had like 10, 12 of them, whatever, with him. And he just kept writing more and more. So that was a guy who made me feel, and not personally, like, he didn't tell me this, but it's just like, he made me feel like, damn, I'm not writing enough. Because you see how much he's writing. And I think that was, to me, working with, like, somebody who I admired, who was a big influence on why I started stand-up, was Willie. Because I would go to the comic strip, right? And I would see him perform. This is before I even did stand-up. I would see him and I'm like, man, this guy's a beast, man. He's funny. He would take pictures with us at the show. And that was like a big reason why. And there's another reason was a comic I saw at the comic strip who bombed so bad that I was like, I can do this. Like, I was like, I can do this too. So that was both kind of influenced, but in different ways. But Willie's just he's a great comic. He's a great writer. The way he tells a joke and the way the facial expressions, the wording, everything is just brilliant. Like, he is another comic who should...
The way he cracks his voice whenever he's
like,
being vulnerable on stage.
Like that. He's definitely a guy who should be... I think he's getting his dues now, like his recognition now. He should definitely be more. I think he should definitely have more specials. But yeah, that was one of my things that I brag about. I'm like, I got to be on the road with him, and he gave me so much advice. It was cool going to the shows with him. I did like 3 or 4 shows featuring him, and it's a big boost to me, like, saying I featured with this guy. You know? And at the time, people knew who he was. It's just they didn't know him like they do now. Like, a lot more people know. Unless I feel like more people knew him at the time, if you were a fan of comedy, as opposed to now, if you see him on TikTok, you know exactly who it is. I mean, there's so many videos of him on there, or people have used his audio for their little, like, their skits or whatever. But that's my, like, moment of pride was being able to work with him, because to go from watching him do stand-up as a spectator to being able to feature for him, that's nuts. I mean, that's to me, that was a big...
And he's going to be here next week.
Oh, is he? Cool. I didn't know that. I'm not going to be here.
Me neither, bro.
He's so funny, though. But yeah, no, I ran into him after that. When he was in Vegas, I went to go see him. We hung out for a little bit. But I haven't really kept up with him in a while. So yeah, I wish I could see him now. He's always funny to see, though. Yeah.
I don't know if it was you or Iggy or who else it might have been, but I remember seeing is it Chris Reed, the kid from Kid and Play? Is that his name?
Yeah, I
remember I saw him at the comic strip. I think it was, and I didn't think he was funny at all, bro.
Really?
Real nice guy. I even took a picture with him at the end of the show, but it was dick and fart jokes too, bro. And it was just him being perverted. I was like, I could do this, man, and I'm not a comedian.
Oh, see,
I didn't like his jokes.
I've never seen him. I've not yet to see him perform. Nothing wrong, nothing against the guy, but it's just like not one of those things. I'm like,
you don't think of him as a comic?
Oh no, he's a comic, but it's just not like again, the comedy is subjective, you know. So like, my favorite comic is not going to be the same as someone else's. And Chris Reed's not like somebody who I go pay to see, but that's nothing, because there's plenty of people that will. It doesn't matter what I think. But
I want to say the reason I went was because somebody I knew featured for him. It might have been the case, or maybe somebody gave us the tickets. I can't remember, bro.
Yeah.
Because I'm the same way. I wouldn't pay to see him.
Yeah, and it's just not just. It's like, you know, there's a few comics that I would pay to see, and that's all it is. There's nothing even assault on him, because I try not to watch too much comedy. I try not to even watch specials anymore, just because I'm like, I don't want that idea of like someone else's joke planting its seed in my head and I think it's mine. You know, like that whole thing, it worries me. So like, I try not to watch too much specials.
Parallel thinking.
Yeah, the parallel thing, and just because it's like, oh, I had an idea, and it's like, no, that wasn't even my idea. It was from some comic I heard or whatever. Because there's times where I remember jokes, but I don't remember where they came from. So like, even when I'm writing, I'm like, I had an idea. I was like, I could have sworn I heard this somewhere else, but I can't figure out where. And I'm like, well, I can't use it because it might have been written by somebody else, or it might have been, but I can't tell the difference if it's my joke or if I heard it somewhere else. So sometimes I try not to listen to any specials. Like I like Shane Gillis, like we were talking about Shane Gillis, and I literally watched like excerpts of it, just little parts of his comedy because I just don't want to watch the whole thing. But he's brilliant. Like the jokes are funny, man. He's a funny guy, and he's out there. Who he's a name everyone's watching right now, so he's definitely a funny guy though.
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool to work with him someday.
Badass, huh? It would be badass.
Yeah, and so I mean, yeah, so I love stand up, and there's like so many things I wish I could watch it more now. Like that's one of the things I do miss. I'm not watching as much specials as I wish I could. Other than like the ones I'll generally watch like all the time are like Dave Chappelle. I always have to watch more.
I love Chappelle.
I love him too, man. He's great. I think his last special was great.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got to be like the guy right now. I think he's like the top comic in the game. I don't know if there's any
overall.
Yeah, overall, I don't think there's an argument for anybody else. Not that I can think of. I think he's got to be top right now. And I know there was like a thing with Cat Williams, where Cat Williams was kind of, they were for a while because I know Cat Williams was like, there was a debate like which one's better, and I think a lot of people were going against Dave because of his trans jokes, right? Like, oh, Cat Williams is funny. No, Cat Williams is very funny. I don't know if you could say the same level, but like I would pay to see Cat Williams. He's hilarious, man. He's funny. He's definitely up there for sure.
I like Chappelle a lot better, bro.
I do too.
I like them both. I mean,
yeah.
Chappelle I love, but Cat Williams is great too. But it's Chappelle for me.
I can't see how it's the same. Like I think it's, if you're trying to go from who's 1 to 2, there's a big step down. I don't know, and that's not an insult to whoever someone may think is second favorite comedian, but it's a big gap between us and him. He's up there in God tier, and we're down here watching. Now I don't know if it'll change eventually, but I don't see that anymore.
No, Chappelle's gonna go down in history as the best, I think, bro.
Yeah, and I don't see how he can't. Like he's just his mind is different, man. Like I don't know. You listen to him, you're like, damn, I don't know how you can even think of that. Like it's just so funny. And I think I understood what people were upset about with the special before this one because of I think maybe they thought it was transphobic.
But they didn't listen to the whole special. They didn't get to the end and saw how it all came together. And
I feel like that maybe is what I thought too. But again, I can never interpret the way someone feels about it. But my thinking was like, I didn't think he, was being, like I don't know what to say. Like he wasn't being
controversial.
Controversial. Thank you. I'm a fucking idiot. Sorry, guys. Damn, Las Cruces education. It wasn't being controversial or anything. I didn't feel like it, but other people saw it differently. But for me, he's top in the game, and I don't see him coming down anytime soon. He's got to go. He's got to say something really offensive for that to happen. I think. I don't think he'll do that, but yeah, he's definitely one. I've never. No, I don't think I've ever seen Chappelle. No, I did see Chappelle when he was there in El Paso, and that was another one. Like I have a few shows where I've seen that's like one of my some of my favorite shows to see, and I was here when he was here, and it was like this guy is so funny, man. It's like everything he says is funny. Like I couldn't even be in the same room with that guy, but him, Bill Burr. And again, like I said, Louis C.K. before all the things that happened. He was a brilliant guy, funny guy. He was just like some of my favorite shows to have seen at the time. That definitely like those three were some like the comedians I would watch every single time if I could. Maybe not Louis C.K.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the last time, but I saw Chappelle with Jon Stewart and Mo Amer.
Oh yeah.
Fairly recently.
Oh cool.
A couple years back.
Nice.
That was a great show.
And there's so much good comedy out right now. Like there's so many good comedians. There's a lot of shitty ones too, but I can't say which ones are because everyone thinks differently. But no, it's just so many comedians. There's too many comedians. There's way too many, man. We need like some kind of virus or something. And I was gonorrhea probably. But yeah, there's too many comedians. But I enjoy it, man. I really do.
And do you have any shows coming up? Anything in Vermont?
No, not right now. I'm trying not to plan too far ahead because I got a wedding I got to go to. My brother-in-law's getting married, so can't plan anything. But I know Josh Castro's going to be in town 420, I believe. So he's going to have some stuff. I might try to get on that, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I think the closest thing I can think of is a funny story too. I'm going to be at the Laugh Factory in 2028.
Oh shit!
They sent me an email. Right? I submitted my name in my video for Fresh Faces at the Chocolate Sundae at the Laugh Factory in LA, and I was like, "Oh, cool, man! I get to put my info." And this is about a year ago. They sent it, I think. So they sent me an email saying, "Oh yeah, here's your stage, here's your date, here's your time. Here's in 2028 though." And I was like, "The fuck?" I was like, "Yeah, that's gotta be wrong." And then on the bottom it says, "No, you're reading this correctly." Like they didn't answer me right away. And that's the wait list they got, almost 4 or 5 people.
Wow.
Like, oh, okay. So that's my next big show at the Laugh Factory, and when I'm almost 50, you guys I'll probably forget all my jokes by then, but that's the next big thing. I'm sure I'll have something in between there, but yeah, I thought that was funny to bring up because it's like such a long time. I was like, why don't you just wait like a year before and send me the email? But
God forbid another pandemic, bro.
yeah, if another pandemic happens and ruins my chocolate sundae debut, I'd be pissed, man. I'll just go in.
Well, listen, bro, this was great. I enjoyed having you on, man.
Thank you, man. Yeah,
I want to have you back someday, bro. This is great.
Yeah, I'd love to, man. Thank you so much for having me.
So,
I would love to do it again.
Dude, thanks a lot, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you for the Coke Zero.
Yeah, so this is Rene Rodriguez with Joe Rodriguez, no relation, on the Long Story Longer podcast. Thanks for listening. Peace out.